Opening weekend continues in the Lone Star State. It's day 2 of the Shriners Children's College Showdown, and we kick off a Saturday triple header with a top 25 matchup. 15th ranked Clemson knocked off Oklahoma State yesterday in their season opener, while 21st ranked Arizona looks to bounce back after a 1-run loss to Ole Miss. Hi everybody, welcome to Globe Life Field in Arlington, back alongside the former big league pitcher Pat Combs. I'm Ben Wilson. Clemson had to replace 4 of its top 5 hitters from the offensive lineup from last year's super regional team. They proved yesterday they could produce with this new lineup, both with timely hitting and with small ball. Pat, what stood out to you about this new look Clemson lineup?
Yeah, no doubt, Ben. It's a great lineup, and just like any great mechanic, Eric Backett just went to work and found some replacement parts, but really great trio. Gaffney, Pano, Listy. By the way, not a law firm in Clemson. Those guys can just flat hit, and they made a difference in yesterday's game 1.
6 runs on 6 hits. The big one, though, came late after a 3-run comeback against Oklahoma State. It was the Purdue transfer, Luke Gaffney.
Yeah, big hit in the 7th inning. That double scored a couple of runs and put Clemson ahead. Bullpen did the job. They held on for the 6-5 victory over the Cowboys. Clemson starts the year 1-0.
This is how they line up with Cam Canarella, the man figured to do the most. He's a projected first-round draft pick next year, but he struggled yesterday. 3 strikeouts in 4 at-bats. They've moved Josh Pano up in the order to the 4-hole. He hit 6th yesterday, had 3 walks, and was all over the place, wreaking havoc on the base pass. Well, we'll get to see the debut of Michigan transfer Colin Priest. He is in there at DH. It's up against Arizona, a very good Wildcats team, last year's Pac-12 regular season and conference tournament champions, now in the Big 12. And Pat, they throw a young hurler to the mound today. Owen Kramkowski making his first career start.
Yeah, you know, Chip Hale's biggest question mark coming into the season was who are going to be the top 3 arms that can give him a solid 5 to 6 innings per start. Well, Owen Kramkowski could certainly be one of those guys. He's a wiry right-hander, just has an electric fastball. He'll sit mid-90s. He touched 97 in the fall. Good breaking stuff as well. He'll flash a cut fastball, a true slider, and an occasional changeup. But that velo spiked significantly after year development, and he has now found himself as starter number 2 in this 25 season.
It's Arizona and Clemson, first of 3 games today. It's day 2 of this Shriners Children's College Showdown. All 3 games yesterday decided by 1 run. Can we keep the streak going, Pat?
Oh man, yeah, it's you know, it's not good for the coach's health to have that kind of start, but
yeah.
Man, the players love it. We loved it in the booth. It was a fantastic day of baseball.
Dominic Listy is ready, as is Kramkowski, who fires in a first pitch strike. Listy moved up to lead off after he hit in the 5-hole yesterday. As he takes a slider just outside. Listy, an Indiana State transfer, one of several former Sycamores playing in this tournament, part of a very good mid-major team that made a postseason run last year. Listy was on the Lexington Regional All-Tournament team in '24. As he takes a fastball outside.
Yeah, Listy, a great addition to this lineup, and you just look at the makeup of who he is. You know, he's an older player, 5th-year senior, a mature guy, just controls the strike zone well, and one of those prototypical leadoff guys.
Smacks one back up the middle. Base hit for Listy, turning around the 94-mile-an-hour heater. His 2nd hit in as many games.
Well, he gets up in the count and just sits fastball, dead red, gets it. Just pokes that ball right back up through the box, and things starting well for Clemson today.
They didn't look out of place yesterday in their first ever game in a dome, first ever game in a big league ballpark. But how about the ACC? 2-0.
Yeah, that was a stat, you know, when you saw that, how Clemson has never played in a big league ballpark until yesterday. I'm like, what? First time in a dome stadium, and that just was shocking, as great a program as they have. And certainly they get invited to a lot of these big tournaments early on, but that was a shocking statistic.
Louisville with a comeback win in the nightcap, stunning Texas in a walk-off. As Luke Gaffney had the big hit yesterday. Takes a fastball top part of the zone after waving and missing on a slider, and it's 0-2. And 1-2 in today's lineup for Clemson. Couple of transfers. Gaffney, 13 homers, 64 runs batted in, and hit for a near .360 average at Purdue last year. And spoils the 0-2 fastball. A slider, I should say. That was home run, RBI, runs, freshman record for Gaffney. All those numbers. He did it as a freshman at Purdue. Not bad.
That was an impressive year. Yeah, no doubt. You know, the slash line looks incredible. Jumps off the page at you, but you know, he's a toolsy guy, above average arm in the outfield, and you know, has some experience behind the plate as well.
He fakes the runner moving, and then Gaffney fouls it off.
It could be a utility guy for Clemson, but you know, a lot of things he does right.
Just underway from Globe Life Field. 0-2 to Luke Gaffney. Got him. Nice pitch from Kramkowski. Paints the corner.
Well, you love to see that with a young pitcher. Of course, we talked about Kramkowski coming back to the program, but not a lot of innings under his belt, and going to be really critical to see how he handles adversity early in the season. But pitch that Gaffney did not agree with. Looks like it just off the plate, but Kramkowski gets the benefit of the call. Great job by Adonis Guzman, his catcher, framing that up nicely for him.
Matt Anderson calling the balls and strikes behind home plate today. That is the first career strikeout for Owen Kramkowski. Only had 3 appearances last year, as Canarella had that hit the umpire on a line drive up the middle. That one hit Mark Hutchinson, who occupies second base, and he awards second to Listy, as that ball looked like it was clearly going back up the box for a base hit.
Yeah, certainly could have been. It would have been a tough play for Caulfield coming across from second base. Might have only had a chance to get one, even if he gets to that ball, but you know, strikes the umpire. It's immediately ruled dead. Hutchinson could not get out of the way. He's going to feel that for a couple of innings, but the result will be a couple of base runners now for Clemson.
A bad break for Arizona. I have to admit, when I looked at the replay, Pat, you certainly felt like Caulfield had a decent shot to at least get to that ball. And now it's first and second for Josh Pano as he watches a slider down in the dirt. Arizona was very clean defensively yesterday. Not a single error. Also turned a double play. Mason White, Garen Caulfield, really solid middle infield. As the fastball misses high, 2-0.
Yeah, the only good news out of that play is Kramkowski didn't lose the no-hitter. The ball that strikes the umpire, of course, ruled a hit. So Canarella gets the benefit of his first hit of the season.
Fastball back to the outside edge. Kramkowski, in his limited time last year, struggled with command. 5 walks, did not have a strikeout in an inning and a third of 3 appearances, but the coaches were very high on his off-season work. Raised his velocity a solid 3-4 miles an hour.
Just missed.
3-1.
See him working both sides of the plate with that fastball. Good signs early on for Kramkowski.
Josh Pano has a great eye. Walked 3 times yesterday. And smacks this one up the middle, a base hit, giving Clemson the game's first run. Josh Pano's fast start in a Clemson uniform continues with a base knock.
Yeah, again, Kramkowski falls behind and gives in with the fastball, and man, good hitters just don't miss those pitches. That ball's out over the plate, takes it right back up the middle, picks up the RBI. But yeah, how about the start in a Clemson uniform for Josh Pano?
Had a bases loaded walk yesterday, scored on a wild pitch, drove in a run. Now he starts this game with an RBI single, and Clemson still in business with Colin Priest coming up. Takes a fastball high and outside. It's the fans' first look at Priest in a Clemson uniform. Big bopper from Michigan, who had a freshman record, 11 homers a season ago, second-team freshman All-American. and in the lineup in game 2.
Timeout called on the field. I'll tell you, Ben, just looking at these Clemson hitters, and of course we know they've got a great development program, great strength program, but all these guys getting in the box so far just look like they have been in the weight room the entire fall. It is a big physical lineup.
Heard somebody yell from the Arizona dugout, "What are we doing?" I was about to ask that same question, so I'm glad that they did for us. Looks like we're all set down there now. Priest, a solid 245-pounder. As he watches that fastball just miss. Kramkowski, you can tell, Pat, going solely for that outside edge, and the command just hasn't quite been there yet.
Yeah, for the most part, staying away from these Tiger hitters. And one thing you'll have to see from Kramkowski is the ability to spot that breaking pitch, get that over for a strike.
Line shot, that's fair. Priest in his first at-bat drives in a run, and he hustles into second with a double as the ball took a wild carom off the protective padding down that third base foul area. It's 2-0 Clemson, runners at second and third.
Well, this time Colin Priest gets a fastball up out over the plate, so Kramkowski's been hurt by that pitch. Well, good college hitters are just not going to miss those fastballs. They're geared up for it. Doesn't matter if you're throwing the mid-90s or not. And they're able to get the barrel through the zone and get to it. Good results happening. Priest now the 4th hit of the inning for Clemson already.
That brings an early visit from pitching coach Kevin Vance out to the mound. Vance did such an amazing job helping turn around this pitching staff. Came over from Boston College, where he was their pitching coach the previous couple seasons. And the book on Arizona had been high-powered slugging team. He just never knew what to expect on the mound. Last year, 2nd in the Pac-12 in ERA, fewest walks issued. It was a remarkable turnaround.
Yeah, it really is, and that's what Kevin Vance preaches is, you know, pound the strike zone, make hitters beat you. Of course, led the country and walked the strikeout ratio, and of course joined by John DeRuin in the dugout. He's a director of pitching performance. He and Vance have done a great job with this Arizona staff, but at the moment, a pitcher that's throwing too many strikes out over the middle of the plate. So I'm sure the conversation was around, hey, let's just make pitches, hit your spots, get back down to that zone, and they'll start mixing in some breaking stuff.
4 hits among the first 5 batters as Jacob Jarrell gives a half swing and offers on that slider. So far, Kramkowski really hasn't been able to get into the secondary stuff. He added a cutter in the offseason. We'll see a slider and a changeup along with that mid to upper 90s fastball. Back to the slider in there for a called strike.
Yeah, that's the pitch he has to have and locate down in the zone. That was an excellent pitch. Now up in the count. Let's see if he has a kill pitch for Jarrell.
Serves this foul down the first base line. Jarrell now standing into that top catcher's role. 4 starters from last year gone, including Jimmy Obertop, who hit 22 homers. He was the main catching option. And a great opportunity now for Jarrell to become the everyday starter. He went 1 for 4 yesterday and stays alive.
And that time the slider backed up a bit on Kramkowski. Tried to throw that front door slider, just stayed in.
Just missed on the 0-2 slider. Even though Owen Kramkowski only has the 3 career appearances, this being his first career start, coaches say they view him as a future weekend starter, has the goods to do it. The Tucson kid from Sahuarita has made lots of strides in the offseason. This one punched back up the middle, falling fast and down. Another hit for the Tigers as Gerald drives in one to make it 3-0.
Yeah, make it 2. Pano and Priest both coming across, and nope, just one. You're right, Ben. Thought we saw 2 coming around, but they held Priest at third base. So Gerald with the big 2-strike swing here. You'd like to see that ball just a little bit more above his hands, but great job of hitting by Gerald just to get on top of that pitch.
Priest not the most fleet of foot. They hold him up at third.
Yeah, I thought off the bat it was just an easy,
no doubt,
2 RBI hit.
Thought the same thing. I guess you don't blame Clemson though with the way these bats have been so productive early. Little tap foul by Tristan Becerra, as it's now 5 of the first 6 batters with base hits.
Well, Owen Kremkowski, obviously young in his career, especially on the mound, just has not had a lot of innings. And really at this point, he's got the tools, has the arm, got the velocity, good breaking stuff. It's just learning how to pitch, how to finish hitters. He's been ahead for the most part, throwing strikes, but just pitches out over the middle of the plate that these Tigers have been able to handle.
1-1 count here after missing the slider. And a foul straight back. This also was the tough scheduling spot. Anytime in these tournaments you have the team playing somewhat later. Arizona was in game 2 yesterday. The quick turnaround this morning with the 11 a.m. local time first pitch. And Clemson has been ready to go out of the jump. The 1-2. Shot to the left side and past the reach of Morales at third. 4-0 Clemson on the dive. It's a double for Becerra, who has his first base hit of the year.
Well, again, just another great piece of 2-strike hitting. Looks like Gerald's getting up a little slow. May have injured that left knee. He is reaching down, feeling for it, but how about Tristan Becerra? Just keeping those hands back. You love to see that. Late in counts, hitters not trying to do too much, not trying to be early with the breaking pitch, but stay on that fastball. Just get your barrel to it, get your hands through it. Much better hit than a slide, but he'll take the double.
Now Andrew Chufo, 8th man to hit in this first inning, already 4 runs in as that slider's in there for a first pitch strike. The tough break too for Arizona. Once that count went to 2 strikes, they shifted everybody toward the right side against the left-handed hitting Becerra. He hit that ball right where Richie Morales had been for the majority of the at-bat. Fastball in there, 0-2.
Well, what you like to see, with a young pitcher, is he just got back on the mound, given up 4 runs already. Has only recorded an out, but he continues to pound the strike zone. Not afraid to throw strikes. Now let's see if he can find an out pitch.
He does. Good slider into the dirt as Chufo chases, and both outs have come via the K for Kremkowski as he finally gets the second out.
And nobody up in the Arizona bullpen. I think it's a good sign, though. Chip Hale's got to be thinking, hey, we've got another game tomorrow, but also want to get Kremkowski, stretch him out. If he's going to be your number 2 guy, got to build arm strength and get that pitch count up. That was his best breaking pitch we've seen so far.
Sitting 94 on that fastball as Jaron Purify takes a called strike. The good news for Arizona, they only had to use 2 pitchers yesterday. Casey Hintz was an underrated MVP in a weekend like this, Pat, to eat up 3 2/3. Purify's chopper's foul.
Yeah, Hintz was golden, and that does set you up very nicely for the weekend.
Pitching and defense were not the issue yesterday for Arizona. Kept a very good Ole Miss lineup relatively in check, but could only muster a Mason White solo homer in the 2-1 loss. A nubber down the third base line. Really tough play, and no play as the speedy Purify beats it out. It's 5 5-0 Clemson.
Well, sometimes it's just how baseball goes, right? You make a great pitch down in the zone and get the number off the end of the bat. Just in the worst place possible for the Wildcats to make a play. You saw Richie Morales coming hard, but no play on Purify out of the box. That'll result in the 5th run this inning and the 7th hit out of the first 9 batters.
And it's the 10th man to hit starting this game. If you just woke up a little bit late and you're lounging around on a Saturday morning, tuning in, you're like, whoa, 5 runs already for Clemson.
Yeah, what happened?
1-0 to Listy. You think about this from the Arizona perspective. You had the line drive up the middle, could have been played by Caulfield, but struck the umpire. They awarded a base hit for Canarella. Little nubber infield hit we just saw. Here, runner on the move. It's a fake throw down to second as Purify snabs the base.
Yeah, big jump for Purify, and Guzman had no shot, so he holds on to it. Good heads up play by the catcher not to risk the throw. Yeah, that's just a big jump.
.20 fastball in there for a strike to Listy.
Listy's going, how do I not swing at that pitch? He's kind of locked him up.
And Listy started this inning with the base hit, came around to score, and is the 10th man to bat. Clemson with a great start. Waves and misses. There's that cut fastball. That's a new pitch this year for Kramkowski.
Yeah, didn't have a lot of movement. He's backed up on him a bit, but does offer some speed difference.
Drilled to the right side. Listy has his 2nd hit of the inning. They wave Purify around from 3rd, and he's in. A 7 spot for Clemson in the top of the 1st.
Well, if we put a montage together of every one of these base hits, you'll see where the mistakes are. It's just out over the middle of the plate. Clemson doing a great job, especially when they've gotten to 2 strikes. They've had multiple hits and 2 strike counts. They have kept their swing short, and they are getting the barrel to the ball. And unfortunately for Owen Kramkowski, just not a lot of off speed. We haven't seen it change up. Haven't seen anything soft. That it's not changing in terms of the timing of the hitters. Everything's been hard, and when he's gotten hit, it's been up in the zone. And now Chip Hale will take the ball from Kramkowski and make the switch.
At a certain point, really no choice for Chip Hale with 7 runs already scored in the 1st. And Arizona was hoping they wouldn't have to do this so early, but it's Tony Pluta who comes in, as it is 7 runs across already for Clemson. 7 runs, more than any team scored in any of our 3 games yesterday. Clemson's done it on 8 hits in the 1st inning, and will send an 11th batter to the plate on the other side when we return. New pitcher for Arizona. It's a hot start for the Tigers, already up 7-0. That's not a misprint. 7 runs in already for Clemson, and we're still in the top of the first. Tigers have chased the starter Owen Kramkowski from the game, and Arizona now turns to a man they describe as their most reliable reliever, hoping to keep this one intact and just get his team to the dugout. It's Tony Pluta, the junior, 5'9" righty from Illinois. Really good command, just 2 walks in his 25 appearances last year, and they just need something positive right now, Pat.
Yeah, no doubt. And Pluta is one of the guys that Chip Hale will count on, as you said, one of the more reliable arms out of that Wildcat bullpen. And look, it's early enough. You know, you consider a 7-run lead, but in the first inning, plenty of innings to work. If the Cats can get back to the dugout, get to their first at bat. But Pluta, good stuff. Generates a lot of velocity out of that body type, but he'll sit low 90s with a fastball.
And on one pitch, he gets a routine grounder to short. White flips to Caulfield, and the inning for Arizona finally comes to an end, but it's 7 runs on 8 hits for the Clemson Tigers, making a statement right out of the gates. Arizona comes to the plate next.
Possibility. At Shriners Children's, we deliver healing to kids with critical burn injuries, like game-changing advances in regenerative medicine and creating the highest standard of care. We never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs, proving time and again what's possible by empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Possible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Clemson puts up a 7 spot in the top of the first. Arizona now attempts to answer, and they start things off with Brendan Summerhill, viewed as the top prospect out of the Big 12 into next year's MLB draft. Mason White's the man who supplied the offense yesterday, had the solo home run in a 2-1 loss to Ole Miss, and it's also a first appearance at DH for Dom Rodriguez, making his first start. Starting lineups brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. And Arizona has a long way back. Pat, they'll have to do it against a returning weekend starter in Ethan Darden. The lefty takes the ball. Yeah,
6 foot 175 from Rock Hill, South Carolina. He is that solid veteran in the rotation. Made 11 starts last year. Posted a 5.17 earned run average in about 70 innings. That was the second most innings behind yesterday's starter Aiden Kanak. But Darden picked up some velo in the offseason. It's been fun to watch him develop. Now his fastball is going to sit low 90s, but a nasty changeup. Scouts say that is his out pitch, one of the best in college baseball. We'll see that pitch quite often today.
And he starts Brendan Summerhill off with a fastball, catches the outside edge. Even though Darden is a returning starter, as this one finds the zone, 0-2. It's the first year that he's began in the rotation to start the season. He was a long reliever in 2023 as a freshman. Moved into the rotation mid-season. Same deal last year. As he goes slider, low and away.
Well, he's one of those pitchers when he arrived on campus, you know, was kind of a mid-80s fastball, but really good secondary stuff, and certainly enough for the Clemson coaching staff to say, hey, we developed this guy, put a little velo on him. What could this look like in a few years? And Darden has certainly been that guy. He has been a great development project, works hard. Picked up 3 to 4 miles an hour of velo just in between last season and this season. But again, that changeup, a chase rate of 42% last season. One of the best you'll see on off-speed pitches.
As that fastball is fouled off, and that is exactly why an 89-mile-an-hour fastball is swung on late by a Brendan Summerhill, one of the best hitting prospects we have in college baseball.
Makes that fastball look like it's low mid-90s. You always got that changeup in the back of your mind.
Good take.
Just missed. Yeah.
Not far off. The 1-2 slider.
Good breaking pitch just off the plate. Here's the pitch track that will indicate that. Didn't miss by much.
Summerhill works the count full. Exactly what you want out of your leadoff hitter when you have a long way back. At least force a little stress on the opposition. As we're just underway, Clemson had the 7 runs on 8 hits in the top of the first. What a good battle here.
How cool is that pitch track? Thanks to Major League Baseball, we are the first college broadcasters to be able to use that technology. Man, what a great tool.
It is pretty sweet. Big thanks to MLB for teaming up with us this weekend. Summerhill hits it hard, but right at Luke Gaffney at first takes it unassisted to make the play.
That pitch was struck hard from Summerhill and got the fastball inside, but out number 1.
This is how Clemson lines up in the field with Jarrell now the everyday catcher. Josh Pano was the WAC Defensive Player of the Year at California Baptist a season ago. And Clemson feels like they have 2 elite shortstops who get to play on the left side of the infield, with Andrew Truffaut playing at that position. Josh Pano right next to him, as Garen Caulfield takes a ball outside. Works the count to 2-0. When we last saw Arizona, Pat, in this tournament, which was 3 years ago to open the season, Arizona went 3-0 in that weekend. Caulfield, the one guy back, still on the team from the 2022 season, which was Chip Hale's first as head coach of the Wildcats. That one in there for a strike. And it was a pleasant surprise. He's even still in the Tucson program as he works the count to 3-1. Was hoping to get drafted, was all Pac-12 last year, but ultimately was heartbroken to not get his name called, and after a long offseason decided to come back. Here he works a walk and is on base for Arizona with 1 out.
Yeah, just a really mature player all around, but a great hitter. Has such discipline at the plate. Usually does a good job of just taking what's given from a pitcher, and that time takes the walk.
He's been on base a ton so far, even though Arizona has struggled offensively. Caulfield, the only guy with multiple hits yesterday. And it sets up Mason White, who had that solo homer to give Arizona its only run. First pitch strike in there on White. Well, he hit 19 of them last year, second in the Pac-12, and he picked up right where he left off yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, no doubter. Deep right center field, and he knew it when he hit it.
A chopper foul as he's down on the count 0-2.
Well, the Cats sure would like to scratch a couple of runs across, close this gap a bit.
Swing and a miss. Goes to the slider and gets White out in front.
Yeah, just a nasty pitch from Ethan Darden. Has all 3 pitches working early in this game. You see the slider there to get to get White. Started him off with a changeup, went fastball in, finishes him with a slider.
Now faces Aaron Walton. Misses inside. It is not all that often in today's era of college baseball. You see many programs that return not 1 but 2 of their weekend starters back for the following year. That's what Clemson has. There's that change that gets a wave and a miss.
Hey, you see the good arm side run with that pitch. It kind of darts down and away from a right-hander. Darden doesn't try to turn it over, but it's just good natural movement.
Good block by Gerald. Count runs to 2-1.
You got to get the story on that lime green glove, though. That's
yeah, I would say
a bit distracting.
Wave and a miss. Well, it makes that changeup even more effective, I suppose.
There's something to it. It's a difficult pitch to hit. Talked about the chase rate.
Roped to the left side. A blistering single for Aaron Walton. His first hit as an Arizona Wildcat, the Samford transfer. Arizona doing its best to claw back. They have runners on first and second with 2 outs.
Well, that's a great adjustment by Aaron Walton. That time does not get fooled on the changeup and just stays back on it really nice. A great job of bringing those hands in. Changeup just didn't have the kind of movement we saw in the first couple he threw. Only stayed out over the plate. Walton lines it into left.
Tommy Splain takes a fastball high. Similar to Caulfield, he's a senior who easily could have been drafted last year, but had a bit of a down season, only hit .230. But despite all that, Coach Chip Hale was telling us, Pat, he loved how he carried himself like a professional, never pouted, never got down on himself, and it ended up paying off. He drove in the game-winning run in the Pac-12 tournament title game for Arizona.
Yeah, just a great, again, mature guy. You know, 4th season at Arizona. Always been a great defender at first base, but really struggled with the bat. Just trying to discover what kind of hitter he's going to be, and that career low batting average that'll cause you to go to work in the offseason, and he did.
Gets ahead in the count, 2-0. Certainly a great physical profile. 6'5" senior, can catch, play first. Pumped in there on 2-0 for a strike.
And he's had some big hits in his career. You know, had the title clinching run in the Pac-12 tournament, hit the walk-off single against USC, and fully capable.
Big hack on the changeup. So hard to pick that up out of the hand. Ethan Darden having to work hard in this first inning. Pitch number 27. Swung on and missed. It's back to the changeup, and Darden gets out of it. Arizona threatens but cannot counter the Clemson 7 spot in the top of the first inning, and as a result, there's a whole lot of fired up Tigers right now. Clemson up by a touchdown as we head to the second inning.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. With professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Elevate your ballpark experience with a tour of Globe Life Field and experience the home of the Texas Rangers like never before. Go behind the scenes and explore premium spaces, unique club settings, luxury suites, and more. Along the way, you'll discover rich history, impressive architecture, and fun photo opportunities around every corner. Globe Life Field's many tour offerings are sure to take your ballpark visit to the next level. For more information and to book your experience, visit globelifefield.com.
We start the second inning at Globe Life Field with head coach Chip Hale of the Arizona Wildcats, kind enough to join us right now. Brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. Coach, thanks so much for doing this. Tough start for your guys. Obviously a lot of game left, though. What's been your message there to the guys in the dugout?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, hey, listen, it's early in the year. Things happen. Get the umpire hit with possibly a double play ball. A lot of lefties shooting the ball down the left field line. Just some tough stuff. You know, I thought he pitched better. He didn't walk anybody. But we just had to get him out of there too many pitches. You know, you can't have guys throwing too many pitches this early in the season.
Yeah, Chip, Pat Combs here. Great to have you here in town for this tournament. And you talked about, hey, this is now the time to really prove yourself up. You guys have been here a few years now. You've got Trip Couch, one of the best recruiting coordinators in college baseball. You've got your guys now. How do you feel about this team so far?
Well, we feel, I mean, obviously to start the year, we feel really good about them. And like I said, you know, we're playing the best in the country. You know, these guys were right there to go to Omaha last year, and they got a really good club and veteran pitchers. So it's going to be a tough battle. But like I told the players, hey, it's better they got 7 in the first and 7 in the 7th. So we have a chance to come back. I thought we slowed it down a little bit and had some good at-bats in the first inning. So hopefully get in quick here and you know, scratch a couple out.
Sure, it has to be odd. I see you got the Big 12 patch now on your jersey here. I mean, you're the only coach and player who's won Pac-12 Coach and Player of the Year. So I'm sure it's hard to know yet what that transition is like, but how have you guys tried to handle that going to a new conference and all the logistics that come along with that?
No, obviously it's just going to be tough, and we just learn on the fly. And we obviously know that the competition with Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, there's some great teams, and I think some sleepers in there with Cincinnati. West Virginia's always good. So it'd be fun. I mean, it'll be fun for the kids to go to different places, and I think the stands will be a little more packed than we're used to in the Pac-12, back over at Cal and Stanford, and some of the LA schools, not too many people go to the games, so I think our guys will be a little surprised.
Sure thing. Well, Coach, it was a few years ago. We had your first ever game as a Wildcat coach, so it's awesome to get to reconnect here. All the best, and appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Big thanks to Coach Chip Hale for joining us. Again, those brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. As his team just trying to battle back at this point, down 7-0 in the second, but they get a Cam Canarella ground out to short. And with Tony Pluta eating up some innings, he gets a wave and a miss on Josh Pano, gets him with the off speed.
You know, you talk to a lot of coaches, Ben, and you think, you know, down 7 runs, and some coaches might even turn down the interview. And not Chip Hale. He's been around baseball long enough. Of course, coached at the major league level with the Diamondbacks, and then won a World Series with the Washington Nationals just a couple of years later. Back into the college ranks, of course, his alma mater here at Arizona. As you mentioned, won a World Series as a Wildcat. Now hoping to get these Cats back into the College World Series. But yeah, it's going to be fun to watch what happens over the next few years with this program. And Chip Hale and his staff, a great staff, great recruiters. They'll have him back in there soon enough.
1-0 Colin Priest. Rips one through the right side. A nice 2-for-2 start for Priest beginning his Clemson career. And pretty crazy that Chip Hale, his final major league game was as the third base coach for the Tigers against the Rangers. Then he comes to Arizona, and this was where he coached his first collegiate game back as head coach at U of A.
Funny how those circles just connect, right?
It's crazy. Can you see another look at Priest's base hit? Oh, one of our producers, Lucas Haskins, a big Washington Nationals fan, was quick to point that out.
You want to make sure, yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Got the ring.
Oh, good snap throw. They almost get Priest behind the play after that first pitch strike.
Yeah, the throw definitely beat him. Good pickup by Guzman behind the plate, and Splain just could not get the tag down soon enough. Had Priest leaning a bit towards second base, but you can see that tag hit him high in the chin. If he gets that glove down in front of the base, he's out.
Wave and a miss. It's almost like the glove hits bag here, and it kind of jettisons it up over his hand.
Yep, sure did. Got a little chin music with the leather, but yeah, the hand just beat the tag.
Catches the inside edge. Pluta rings up Jacob Jarrell on the inside heater. Arizona gets a clean inning after giving up 7 in the top of the first. Wildcats send the bottom of the order up when we come back at the Shriners Children's College Showdown.
First, at Shriners Children's, the world's most advanced scoliosis procedures are born here. In fact, we deliver access to the world's best doctors for nearly every pediatric orthopedic condition. We're delivering care without compromise is our promise. And kids can just be kids. Because being first always starts with empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say, IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made and champions are born.
Part of the Shriners Children's College Showdown. So great to see everybody affiliated with the Shriners organization here all weekend. We'll be visiting later on with Arizona's Shriners representative team captain a little bit later on in the show. And great to see, especially for fan bases not used to coming out here. Arizona, this is their second trip in the last 4 years, but Clemson's first ever trip to Globe Life Field, and certainly the Tiger fans enjoying themselves, Pat, on a Saturday morning up 7-0.
No doubt about it. Both these coaches talked about just the competitive environment, but more than anything, these teams get to come to a domed Major League ballpark and get their games in for the weekend. It's a kind of a dreary day outside, a little bit of mist, but perfect 70 degrees, and we got some great baseball going on here at Globe Life Field.
Day one in the books, 3 games all decided by 1 run. Clemson with the 7-0 lead, and Ethan Darden back out for his second inning of work. Fires a first pitch strike to Dom Rodriguez, making his D1 debut, a late signing in the transfer process from Delta Community College in California. Works the count to 1-1. Pitch just misses to 2-1 on the changeup. We've seen so far, it might be our first look in this venue, Pat, at Clemson, but such a well-built, evenly rounded team as this one's chopped back up the middle. Purify to his right and makes the play.
Yeah, nice play by Jaron Purify, and had a little bit of a bobble on the front end of this play, but put himself in a great position, well positioned, just a couple of steps to the backhand side, and he kind of shaded that part of the field, but nice pickup, accurate throw, retires Rodriguez.
If there was a weak spot for Clemson as this pitch misses outside to Easton Breifigel, it was the fielding last year, tied for last in the ACC for Clemson. That did not stop the Tigers from reaching a super regional. They lost 2 very close games to Florida as Breifigel rips it foul. The coaches feel like they're right there. I mean, 44 wins last year, won the ACC Atlantic Division regular season title, 20-10, and are one of a bunch of ranked teams out of the ACC this year.
Yeah, and a really similar story when you compare both these clubs, with Chip Hale taking over 4 seasons ago, Eric Bakich taking over 3 seasons ago, and you both now have really their guys on the roster. Eric Bakich really attacked that transfer portal well, and as we talked about pregame, man, found some great pieces.
Shot to the left side. It gets down in the gap. Digging hard for 2 is Breifigel, and he's in there with a double. They say he's the fastest guy on the roster, Easton Breifigel, the Minnesota native, and he has an extra base hit.
Yeah, great job of just going with that pitch. Got a pitch that was on the outside part of the plate. How about the barehanded pickup by Canarella in center field? And not how you teach it, but I don't know if he could have cut the back end as that ball was headed towards the gap. And great pickup for him, but great job of hitting by Breifigel, and gives the Cats a chance to try to close a little bit of this lead.
Guzman to the left side. Oh, what a pick. Josh Pano. There's a reason why he was a WAC Defensive Player of the Year last season. What a play.
Outstanding. Just an incredible play. It was a really difficult one as well off the bat of Guzman. That ball had some top spin. Watch this second bounce. This ball just tries to shoot towards the outfield, and God, what a play by Pano just to glove that ball and throws a strike to first base.
We asked Eric Bakich, okay, guy goes from Riverside, California to Clemson, South Carolina. How'd you discover this kid, Josh Pano? And he said, well, it's easy when you're really good friends with his dad.
There you go.
This pitch gets to the backstop. It allows Breifigel to go to third. Josh's dad, John, he runs the California Baseball Academy, so he's friends with a lot of college coaches,
That's right.
Not just Eric Bakich, but they loved what they saw out of Pano, the 3-year starter at shortstop for California Baptist. Always great defensively, and then last year his offense really took another notch up, hit nearly 300 with 11 homers. And it's basically a second shortstop over there at third for Clemson. As this changeup misses outside, 2-0 to Richie Morales.
Yeah, CBA, one of the top elite travel programs in the country, and Pano family well known in that circle. But yeah, how about that pickup?
3-0 the count to Morales. It's a dangerous Clemson team. They're projected 4th out of the new look 16-team ACC conference, where they got rid of the divisions this year. 3-0 is in there for a strike. So they also changed the ACC tournament format. It's no longer the round robin type. It'll be single elimination. Morales thought he had ball 4. Instead, the count runs full to 3-2.
Yeah, top of the strike zone according to Matt Anderson, home plate umpire.
Look at that huge lead at third as it's chopped to the left side, right back to Pano. We gave him a lot of love this inning, and his throw is a little bit wide, but the tag is applied by Luke Gaffney at first. Darden works around a 1-out double from Easton Breifigel. Stays 7-0 Clemson as we go to the third.
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amagi business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amagi business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Arlington, the Renegades are going full throttle this spring when the UFL returns.
What a catch!
Get ready for more action-packed football and unforgettable experiences at Choctaw Stadium.
That is something special right there.
Renegades, mount up and get your tickets today.
Back in Arlington, part of this fantastic weekend raising money for Shriners Children's. And as part of this weekend, 6 remarkable kids have each teamed up with a participating university for this Showdown team fundraising challenge. All weekend long, teams will compete to see which fan base can raise the most money in support of Shriners Children's. Scan the QR code on your screen right there, or visit ShrinersShowdown.com to donate in honor of your favorite team today. Got Clemson's team captain down there. We'll have Eli up in the booth from Arizona a little bit later, and saw him playing catch with some of the guys pregame. There's some awesome shots. Look at that.
How about that?
Chasing it down on the track, getting a little assistance out there.
Reminiscent of my former teammate Jim Abbott.
Let's see the arm. Let's
left
oh,
arm, yeah.
all right,
There you go, man.
Got a good arm.
Catch it.
Hey, that's the current number. However, yes, you could use that QR code on your screen. Download the Shriners Children's. Donate depending on your university. You can select your favorite team there as we go to the third inning, and it is a new pitcher for Arizona. They had to go to the bullpen in the first. Owen Kramkowski only got 2 outs. Tony Pluta did really well in relief. So it's the third pitcher of the day, Raul Garayzar from Rico, Arizona. The senior who the coaches said had a great fall after struggling to an 11-12 ERA last spring. And he gets a swing and a miss. Tristan Bissetta starting things off in the third.
Yeah, Garazar, one of those guys that really a swing man in that bullpen. He can do a lot of things. He can start middle relief, even late innings. It's a guy that could serve multiple roles here for Chip Hale. Good fastball, low 90s, cutter, changeup, slider repertoire, but just added the slider this year.
Just outside on changeup, misses, and it's 1-2 to Bissetta. Bissetta had double and scored in that 7-run first inning, but here he waves and misses. Good pitch going to the changeup.
Yeah, nice pitch from Garazar, and had it set up pretty well. Looked like a fastball coming inside, and Bissetta certainly looked it as well. Kind of opened that front shoulder and was way early on it. Good pitch for the strikeout.
Andrew Chufo bunts right through that one, 0-1. You mentioned, Pat, how this could be a guy used in a lot of different roles. Did start 3 games last year, had a save as well. Did Garazar. Just 11 in the third innings pitched. And the 11-12 ERA, but coaches feel like he's a different guy now, and he does find the zone with a good-looking slider, 0-2.
Yeah, the big thing, learning a new pitch like that, you know, it takes a while to get the feel of it. Usually about 4 or 5 bullpen sessions, really just to feel like it's spinning off your hand right, but then to have confidence to throw it. And that is one thing that Garazar does not lack, his self-confidence, and you see just really good even-keeled disposition. Attacks the strike zone. Doesn't rely on any one pitch. Really has a good mix in that repertoire.
Hot shot handled on a hop by Richie Morales at third. The throw is just in time. A good strong arm from deep behind the bag, and it's 2 up, 2 down in the top of the third.
A couple of great plays so far at that third base position. This time Richie Morales turns one around. Nice backhanded stop and gets to his feet quickly. Had to make a strong throw as Chufo can get down the line. Well done.
We've seen some really good third base play so far today. As Purify swings over the top of that slider. 7-0 Clemson. All the damage came in the first inning. As Purify nubs that one. Again, Morales with a chance. He makes the play. 1-2-3 inning for Garazar out of the Arizona bullpen. 7-0 Clemson. We'll visit with their active head coach, Nick Schnauble, when we return, as it is all Tigers early in Arlington.
Resilience. At Shriners Children's, we're leaders in pediatric sports medicine. With expertise in sprains, tears, fractures, and other sports-related injuries. We're here to deliver the best care in the business and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. Because every great comeback starts with a game plan for empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Here's a good look at some of the Clemson fans enjoying what they're watching so far today. 7-0 Tigers as we go to the bottom of the third. Pleased to be joined now by acting head coach of the Tigers, Nick Schnauble, as our coach interviews are brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. Coach, thanks so much for doing this. Great start for your guys at the plate. What stood out to you most about their approach, especially in that first inning?
Yeah, guys did a great job. We didn't have a ton of information on him, so but the guys fought with 2 strikes, used the entire field, and it was really good to see.
Hey, Coach Pat Combs here. I think it's worked out really well for Coach Bakich to miss these first 2 games. You've done a great job filling in, and look at the pitchers you got to work with. How about this guy, Ethan Darden, today?
Yeah, ultimate competitor, bulldog. He's going to give you everything he has. We know that. That's why he's pitching on a weekend, and yeah, he's doing a good job.
Up 7-0 right now as Brendan Summerhill starts this inning. Coach, what's the logistics like? Your head coach, Eric Bakich, he's on the radio. He's one of us these first couple of days. How did it work going from game 1, consulting with him, figuring out the plan here for game 2?
Yeah, we met this morning, and well, obviously we talked last night, met again this morning as a staff, and you know, we put together what we thought was the best plan moving forward, and that's what we did. So, yeah, I know he's watching closely and enjoying being on the radio, I guess, if he's not here.
I'm sure he's hoping to get down in that dugout, but he'll be there tomorrow.
Yes, sir, he will.
Well, Nick, what are you guys most excited about with this club?
Just the way they go about their business. I mean, it's a hard-working kind of lunch pail group. They just bring it every day, and they just want to get better. And again, you know, early in the season, you want to see them compete against another Jersey, and that's what we're doing here against some really, really good teams.
Coach, really appreciate the time and enjoy it. We'll see if Eric Bakich, if he wants to stay a broadcaster after today, the way this thing is going. Really appreciate the time, sir.
All right, guys, take care.
And our interviews brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. Big thanks to Nick Schnauble, who is just the acting head coach for today. First 2 games, Eric Bakich given a 2-game suspension after being ejected from game 2 of Super Regionals last year. And that actually led to a rule change. There's now no automatic ejections for players for leaving their position on a field during a scuffle. So at least something came out of that Eric Bakich was happy about, as this 1-1 is in there to Garen Caulfield for a strike after Brendan Summerhill popped out to start the inning.
Yeah, we had a fun conversation with Coach Bakich. Of course, Eric, one of the top college coaches in baseball, and you have some fun about, hey, how did the ejection happen? And he said, I think it was more the case of an aggressive umpire.
It's always an aggressive umpire.
Right.
Here's a look at that good-looking slider that gets Garen Caulfield out in front. And Ethan Darden, he needed a lot of pitches to get through the first couple innings, but starting to settle in. Clemson had 1 player, this one's in there for a strike. Jack Crichton also suspended for 1 game. Crichton is available to come off the bench. He's in the mix for one of those outfield spots. As White swings over the top of that slider, 0-2. Now, Nick Schnauble, former CAA Defensive Player of the Year. He was with Eric Bakich at Coastal Carolina in their playing days, and he's watching his pitcher absolutely shove right now. Back to the slider once more as Ethan Darden carves his way through the top of the Arizona lineup. 7-0 Clemson after 3.
Protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below, and we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. It's a city made for fun and excitement and all the things you love to do. And even some things you didn't know you loved until you came here and found them. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new. We on a new wave. This ain't what it was. See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12. Now standing 16 strong. In every end zone, any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know we are.
Clemson fans enjoying themselves on a Saturday afternoon in Arlington, Texas. 7-0 Tigers as we go to the top of the fourth. Long way back for Arizona. The pitching's been good, though, Pat, ever since the first inning. That was when all 7 Clemson runs crossed the plate, and it's the Tigers back to their top of the order against Raul Garizar, the third pitcher Chip Hale has used.
Yeah, things have settled down. Tony Pluta came in and did a great job. Of course, they'd like to save him for some mornings tomorrow if possible. And now giving way to Garizar, and had a solid first inning. Okay, and a couple of ground balls. Nice plays at third base made by Morales. Quick inning.
Misses just outside on the 1-0 changeup to Dominic Listy from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Grad transfer out of Indiana State. Part of a Clemson roster that found so much success through the transfer portal last year, as he swings and misses here, and they are hoping to do the exact same thing. Their top 3 hitters, Jimmy Obertop, they had Jacob Hinderleiter, Alden Mathis. They were all coming via the portal last year and had great success, as this one's chopped to the right side, fielded cleanly by Caulfield for the first out. And that's sort of the reality now. Clemson believes they do have the goods to not only get back to a super regional, but make it all the way to Omaha, where they have not been in quite some time. It's been 15 years since the Tigers made it to the Final 8.
Well, they had to replace a lot of pieces from last year, and 5 starters out of that roster, that lineup. And well, what a great job, though. Luke Gaffney, one of those guys that has come in from Purdue and had the game-winning hit yesterday. But Listy, who we just saw transfer from Indiana State, but they have done a great job of retooling. And of course, Clemson always with an Eric Bakich coach team is going to develop young players as well. Good recruiting class as they typically have. And this is one of those teams that's kind of gearing up. You kind of get the same feel for both these programs with Arizona and Clemson, that they're just on the verge of getting back into that World Series.
That slider just catches the outside edge, but Garizar can't locate with the fastball. The Clemson challenged themselves schedule-wise, tied for the toughest non-con strength of schedule in the country, if you go by quad score. This one popped into center, but Aaron Walton has a beat and makes the catch. Out number 2. That quad score, that's a combo of, you're basically averaging quad 1, toughest opponents, quad 2, 3, 4, and so on. And Clemson tied for the toughest schedule 3 of their first 5 games against NCAA tournament teams from last year.
Well, you want to get battle tested early on and kind of get that barometer. Where are we at? Of course, every team coming into the season, rarely do they have everything figured out, especially with their pitching staff. You got maybe your 1 top starter, maybe 2, but you're trying to figure out who's our 3 and 4 guys. And then, of course, the bullpen, just the roles and responsibilities that those bullpen arms are going to take. You'll find out a lot about your team first 2 weeks, and you definitely want to face the kind of competition you're going to see in conference play. ACC is just loaded this year, and it's going to be a tough conference.
16 teams now in the ACCs. Cam Canarella waves and misses at that 1-1 changeup, 1-2. And after Clemson had 5 guys drafted last year, Canarella is assumed to be the top guy. You see all those ranked teams in the ACC this year.
Yeah, Clemson didn't even make the list.
15th, right? Near the 7th
team.
Highest ranked.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah. Well, 4 of those teams made it to the College World Series last year. So you talk about, the SEC being such a great baseball conference, which it is, but ACC right on their heels. And Big 12, of course, loses Texas and Oklahoma, 2 great baseball programs. But look at the replacement. You got Arizona State coming in, and not a big fall off with those programs.
Expectations sky high for Clemson this year is the 1-2. This is outside 2-2. And especially the fact that Canarella, who's viewed as the leader, he's now fully healthy. He put up great numbers last year despite having a shoulder injury. He had labrum surgery in the offseason. Works the count full to 3-2. Amazing that he was still third-team All-ACC despite that, Pat.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he played through that injury last year and had the labrum tear fixed. That is not an easy surgery to come back from. And you kind of thought, is he going to be 100% to start the season? Well, he certainly looks the part.
But he swings and misses here. Garayzar fools him with a changeup. And it's a 1-2-3 fourth inning. 6 up, 6 down for the righty out of the pen, Raul Garayzar, as it stays 7-0 Clemson. We go to the bottom of the fourth next.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions. Home to possibility and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Record-breaking global superstar Shakira, live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour, Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Yeah, winning a policy. Thank God for $1 a prophecy. Lot of pressure, I am a prodigy. Everybody inside of the stadium tell me they proud of me. Shot in public, training privately. Homer, straight to the balcony. Building muscle, I never can bother me. Texas Rangers together, we by the team. Going hard, it's just a dog in me. Still a game on the road, it's a robbery. Stand on base, going strong, no apology. Corey Seager might give it to Raw. Like I see it, the strength in my arm.
A 7-0 Clemson lead on top of Arizona as we go to the bottom of the fourth. We're at the home of the Texas Rangers, Globe Life Field. That guy looks familiar.
That's right.
Oh yeah, Nolan Ryan. Look at him.
The Alvin Express.
Got the hat and everything. There we go.
A lot of players have donned that number 34. None better than Nolan Ryan.
Part of this outstanding facility. They still have the old ballpark. They use it for a lot of different events, concerts. The UFL team, Arlington Renegades, plays across the street, Choctaw Stadium, and we're right down the road from Jerry World, where the Cowboys play, as Aaron Walton starts this bottom of the fourth. You can see Choctaw Stadium through the glass panes here, as it's 1-2. So you were in the NL. You ever get to play? I mean, interleague wasn't a big deal back in the late 80s. Did you ever get to play Texas?
Well, not Texas. I did play against the Astros when Nolan was pitching, but
there you go.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was one of those things you look back on. You go, how did that happen? First of all, but then, of course, the great career that Nolan had here at Texas. Pitching coach Tom House, who he credits with extending his career, but yeah, Nolan was just always one of the hardest working guys in baseball, and you could see if his arm held out, he was going to pitch into his 40s, and he sure did that.
3-2 here to Aaron Walton, leading off the fourth. Swings and misses. Wow, is that changeup dialed in for Ethan Darden? It's gotten better as we've progressed.
It just tells you what a powerful pitch that is for Darden. Steady diet to Walton, and Walton could not square it up. And there it is, number 34, the retired number of Nolan Ryan.
I just wish you had gotten to pitch at the old Ranger Stadium so I could ask you, stories, and you'd be looking right at it as we call the game today. But
seen a lot of games there, yeah, but never pitched there.
Wasn't meant to be. Oh, quite the week in your former big league city, Philadelphia.
It has been a big week, yeah. Just glad they didn't burn the place down.
Seriously.
Oh, man.
1-1 here to Tommy Splade. If only the vet was still standing, that would have been.
Oh no, I'm glad that thing got imploded. It needed to go. Yeah.
Your life expectancy might have been cut by a couple of years just by standing on the field there.
Yeah.
Well, fouled off on 1 and 2.
Center field was never going to be the same after Lenny Dykstra played out there. All the chewing tobacco spit. Oh my gosh.
Different time, right?
That was a different time for sure. Yeah.
Back Combs, former Philadelphia Philly, with me in the booth. Is this 1-2 slider to Tommy Splains down in the dirt.
You know, the modern day player today, I mean, look at these college players. I mean, they just look the part. These guys do such an incredible job of staying in shape. And I mean, it's obviously become a year-round proposition for these guys as Splain goes down swinging. Now 4 strikeouts in a row for Ethan Darden. Just nasty stuff today. That changeup bottom just drops right out of it. Tell yourself, stay on it, and just out in front over the top.
The guys in the Big 8 when you were pitching have changeups that developed. I mean, geez, that's such a good pitch.
It is a great pitch, and you rarely see it. I mean, it's just hard to teach. First of all, you've got to have such a great feel for it. You know, guys that throw that circle change, or of course 6 different variations of a changeup, but yeah, I threw the circle change and had very similar movement on it, but it takes a while to get the feel. It just comes off your hand different. You got to remind yourself to have that fastball type arm action. That's what fools the hitter. He sees fastball out of the hand, and then obviously the velocity is not there.
Dom Rodriguez sends this one just into the netting. And one of those sequences where when you get into a rhythm, you get to work fast like Ethan Darden does, just ties opposing hitters up in knots. And Arizona has looked super confused ever since the first inning.
Just missed. Another changeup down, but yeah, even with the expression of these hitters of telling themselves, stay back, right? It's just such a nasty pitch.
Chopped to the mound. Darden fields, makes the play. What can't this guy do? Ethan Darden allowing just 2 hits, excuse me, and 1 walk in his 4 innings of work as Clemson is rolling right now from Arlington, 7-0 lead. Clemson up 7 as we go to the 5th inning. This Shriners Children's College Showdown, which unites athletic excellence and the most amazing care anywhere. Shriners Children's is dedicated to improving the lives of children around the world. Today, one of our highlights is visiting with the team captains affiliated with Shriners, and we'll have Arizona's team captain Eli hang out with us in the next half inning, so pumped for that as Clemson's heart of the order comes up 4, 5, and 6, starting with Josh Pano. Pano smacks one to the right side. Caulfield ranges to his left and makes the play. How about the relief pitching from Arizona these first 2 games, Pat? Have allow just a single run off their 3 relievers, covering now 7 full innings.
Yeah, they have slammed the door. I mean, yesterday Casey Hintz was just absolutely golden. Only give up the 1 run on 3 hits. Today, Tony Pluta. And then now Raul Garrazar. He has just been outstanding. Really mixing his pitches well. Has kept Clemson off balance, which is not something we saw back in the first inning when they put a 7 spot on the board. Garrazar now 2 1/3 innings has not been touched with a couple of Ks.
You saw the acting head coach Nick Schnauble looking on, coaching the first 2 games of this season for Eric Bakich, suspended after being ejected at the end of last year in Super Regionals. His team up 7 runs as Priest with a little half swing out in front, and it's 1-2. Garrazar trying to do something that Owen Kramkowski and Tony Pluta could not do before him, which is get this man, Colin Priest, out.
Garrazar gets the sword from Colin Priest, and just tells you how difficult these Tiger hitters are having with picking up the pitches off the hand of Raul Garrazar.
Priest shoots one foul. The guy who coaches say figures to be in the lineup every day. The bat is just too good for them not to include him. Gets his first start of the year at DH, but could see some time at first base, even the outfield, depending on how things shake out. The 2-2. Chopped to the right side, and Garrazar does get the out on Priest. First time he's been retired. That's a good way to get your 11-12 ERA from last year down, right? Come out and just immediately start dealing.
Yeah, and he's a guy you very well could see in this Wildcat starting rotation.
It's also why, just similar to how you never write off a team just because they struggle in this particular opening weekend, you never write off a pitcher just because in his first year in college ball he struggles. And Garrazar, a great example of that as he works ahead 0-2.
Well, no, he's a perfect example of guys that come in with good stuff. You know, you don't play at this level unless you have good stuff coming in. But the question is always is, in terms of development, how better can we make you as a player? And are you willing to be coached up? And he certainly is. And he's learned even a new pitch this year. Come right out of the gate throwing that slider, and it's been a nasty pitch for him.
Barely missed on 0-2. Works both that fastball and the cut fastball, gives him a little bit of variety there while mixing in the new slider. Sent back up the middle past Garrazar. Barehanded play is just late. Oh, what an effort by Mason White as Jacob Jarrell barely beats it out.
Well, do or die play for the shortstop Mason White. You see him barehanded, had to change directions with it as well. Ball had some spin on it. Gerald just able to beat the throw. Outstanding play by the Wildcat shortstop. And well, that was really close. They may want to take another look at that. Of course, the added bag, you see the green bag now, a rule change for college baseball. Well, Arizona's not going to challenge it, so play will stand.
Looked like that contact to bag with ball being caught was pretty simultaneous. Credit Gerald too, getting down the line as a catcher as he keeps the inning going, and that is the first person to reach against Garrazar in his third inning of relief. Tristan Becerra immediately down in the count 0-2. Good to have him back healthy. Tristan Becerra, he was banged up, had a tweaked wrist in the fall, missed one of their scrimmages they had. As he stays alive.
And you saw a lot of great aggressive swings by Clemson back in the first inning. did a great job of 2-strike hitting. I think probably half their hits came on 2 strikes. They have not had a lot of great hacks against Garrazar, and just tells you what kind of stuff he's featured today.
That is barely foul. You could see Tommy Splain trying to snag that before it went into foul territory, since it would have been an easy out.
Yeah, great sales job by the Wildcat first baseman. Tried to pull that glove in off the line.
Well, not a lot of hard contact either. I mean, the 1 base knock was hit about as softly as humanly possible and barely got past Garrazar in the mound. It's been pretty consistent here, Pat. A lot of off speed, a lot of out in front swings, especially on those lefties. As Tristan Becerra stays alive.
Yeah, 4 foul balls, pretty much in the same spot, just beaten into the ground.
Coming off a great summer on the Cape, gained a lot of confidence, did Tristan Becerra. As this fastball misses outside. The Cape, it's a league you're so familiar with, Pat. It's grown so much, even in stature, in the last decade or so, to the point where NBC sent a crew out. The Today Show did a huge feature on the Cape Cod League, and Becerra was one of the featured players in that program as he fouls another one off.
Well, such a great environment. You know, you go out, I've seen a lot of games in the Cape, and that's where most of the top collegiate players will go in the summer. Of course, a wood bat league, so it gives the scouts a really good indication of how position players will handle the wood. Just a great competitive league every season, every summer.
You talk about battles that you have in that league in particular, and it's why Tristan Becerra has gained a lot of confidence, made a big jump since last spring, and a great battle right now against the JUCO transfer from South Mountain. Really good program in Arizona for Garrazar. Just misses. Goes to the heater on 1 and 2 after a lot of off speed. Becerra really making him work.
Yeah, 10 pitches now into the at bat, and that's however this works out. Just a great at bat by Tristan Becerra. Garrazar had been getting some quick outs, pitching to contact, but this is a ongoing battle.
High chopper that sees its way through. Becerra wins the battle. And after doing nothing since the first inning for Clemson, now the bats have a little bit of life, bringing up Andrew Chufo with 2 on and 2 out.
Well, advantage always goes to the hitter. The more pitches you see in an at-bat, and certainly Becerra just hung in there, made just a number of foul balls that off of really good pitches that were down in the zone and could have been strikeout type pitches, but he stayed on every pitch, and it's an outstanding at bat.
That means the next pitch for Garrazar, the second reliever Chip Hale has used out of the pen, will be his 50th. This is exactly where having a big league sort of staff comes into play, right, Pat? You have the longtime big leaguer Chip Hale, who managed the Diamondbacks. He knows after a 10-pitch AB like that to a reliever, send your pitching coach out, calm him down a little bit. Yep.
That's right. Yeah, better move there. Kevin Vance just trying to help his pitcher catch a breath and slow the game down just a tad, and you get worked up into a situation like that. 10-11 pitches in an at bat. Be a lot of things going through your mind after you give up the hit.
What's cool about Vance and him coming over from Boston College, it's his second year, he was also able to help convince his former catcher at BC, Adonis Guzman, to follow him to Tucson. So you get the pitching coach and his catcher, who came to Chip Hale's staff and paid off in huge ways with an ERA that Went way down last year for Arizona, second best in the Pac-12. Guzman, part of that mound visit, now watches as this slider misses just inside 1-0.
Well, you see the philosophy paying off. That this is what you're going to see from this Wildcat pitching staff. You know, they are just preached to pitching to contact and trying to get hitters out within the first 3 pitches of a sequence. Every one of them executed well today.
We saw that look at the bullpen a moment ago. Garrett Hicks getting loose for Arizona. Slow roller to the left side. It's been everything in play on the ground this inning. And Richie Morales has been solid all day. Makes the play. 7-0 Clemson to the bottom of the 5th. We'll visit with the Arizona captain from Shriners Children's when we return to Arlington.
Today we're here. We're welcoming in a Shriners patient. His name's Eli. He's going to be a part of the Wildcat baseball team. We're excited to have him.
Guys, I want to introduce you to Eli. Eli is going to be with us at the Shriners tournament in Dallas.
I was born with a cleft palate. My mother and father found out about Shriners and how they help kids who have cleft palate throughout my life. They help fix my lip and mouth so that I can communicate better.
We moved here in 2010. That's when we had different insurance issues and decided to check out Shriners. It's been a good experience for us.
To have Eli here and to realize what he's gone through and the surgeries he's had to endure, speaking beautifully to the guys and participate in our weightlifting and our tug of war competition was really, really great to see.
When we adopted him, we had no idea what this road would look like. He has had about 12 surgeries. His last one was last February. There's no way that we would have made it without the help of Shriners.
Bear down!
Back in Arlington, where you just got to watch the story of Eli's Arizona's team captain affiliated with the Shriners Children's College Showdown. And look who it is. Eli's with us in the booth right now. It was so cool, Eli, watching your story, getting to see it down on the field. Thanks so much for joining us. What's it been like just hanging out with the team and being part of this weekend?
It was good.
It's always solid. You know, the team needs a spark too, because
that's right.
they're down 7-0 right now. Really seemed like they were they were really trying to pump you up, get you a part of the activities. What sort of things did you get to do with the guys being around them?
I played tug of war with them.
Tug of war, solid. Yeah.
I watched them work out.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
I know I would lose a tug of war bet, so I'm glad I did not have to be part of that experience. But what has this whole experience been like for you? And tell us a little bit in your own words about your own journey and what you've had to go through.
It was tough.
And how long have you when were you diagnosed, and how long has it been?
I was born with a cleft palate, and it was for Shriners to help me. It's a long time that I gone through.
Well, Eli, how has your life changed since becoming a part of the Shriners and having those surgeries, but how has it changed you?
I'm able to communicate better with other people, and I have a better looking face.
There you go.
Well, you've come in, and immediately, here's the look at what just happened. Easton Breifigel, we said Arizona needed a spark, Eli. Get a little bloop double down the left field line. So we should tell you, we have a very good track record of whenever
that's right,
team captains come on, their teams automatically have some success, Eli. So you feeling good about where things are at right now?
Yeah.
Long way to go too in the game. Down
definitely
down 7-0. What can you say about the people you've worked with and gotten to know from the Shriners organization, who are such a big part of helping people like you get the care that they need?
They do everything to help, and yeah.
Yeah, Eli, so how will life be different now going forward for you?
That's a good question.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to do in the future?
I'm planning to do welding.
Great.
As Adonis Guzman with a grounder to the left side. Well, we heard the Arizona head coach, Chip Hale, Coach Chip, talking about you and, you know, how much of an inspiration it was for the team just to be around you and hear your story. So you mentioned, all right, tug of war, watch the guys work out here. You talk to any of them? Do they ask you anything about, about your journey and maybe learn a little bit about you in the process? Did you get any cool conversations with those guys?
Yeah, a few.
Well, in those conversations, did you develop a likeness for any particular player? Did you have a favorite player now?
That's a tough question.
Tough one, huh? You can just say all of them, right?
Yeah.
You could always just say the guy at the plate, which is Matisse Morant, who's making his first appearance here at the weekend. Well, Eli, it's such a privilege getting to watch your story, have you up in the booth with us. We can't thank you enough for being a part of this weekend and for sharing your story, man. It's such an inspiration to see what you've gone through and what you've overcome. So thank you so much for joining us. We can't thank you enough.
Thank you for bringing me up here.
Of course. And now we will, this is your inning, so we will watch to see if Arizona can strike. Big thanks to Eli and everybody affiliated with Shriners Children's for all the amazing things they have had to do with this weekend, kicking off the college baseball season. So it is Matisse Morant from France. Swings and misses at the 0-2 pitch. As Arizona goes to the bench, he was pinch hitting for Adonis Guzman as we get another look. And Chip Hale clearly just looking for a spark of some sort. Pat, you're down 7 runs. You haven't been able to do much on the starting pitcher, Ethan Darden, and also Clemson, after that great start from Darden, has gone into the bullpen. It's our first look at who we presume to be their closer this year, Drew Titsworth. Shot back up the middle and down. It's Brendan Summerhill who shoots it back up the box, and finally Arizona is on the board.
There you go. Tip of the cap to Eli, their patient ambassador. Got the run. Got him on the scoreboard, and Summerhill, nice job. Fought that fastball off, kind of bearing in on his hands up in the zone, and does a good job of getting to that pitch, just muscling it out towards left center field, and that will account for an RBI. First run on the board for the Cats.
That closes the book on Ethan Darden. 4 solid innings of work, just 2 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. If you really had wanted him to, it's the opening weekend, Pat, but if we were, say, in May, you'd think Darden had at least a few more innings left in the tank with how good he looked. Strike taken by Garen Caulfield as it's 1-1. And Morant, by the way, pinch hitting for Richie Morales in the 9-hole. Guzman did stay in and ground it out after that Breifigel double. Swing and a miss there. We just have a few moving parts here, Pat.
Oh, yeah.
But certainly our focus
right.
Getting Eli up here with us. Great to visit with him.
Well, Titsworth, a sophomore who had some great innings last year through 21 2/3 as a freshman, and is looking to be a back-end part of that bullpen for Clemson.
Runner goes. It's popped into right field. Becerra all over it and makes the catch. Arizona starting to claw their way back. They are on the board from down 7-0. Brendan Summerhill drives in the first run of the game as we've reached the end of the 5th. It's Clemson by 6.
We're here today to introduce Eli from Shriners Children's Greenville to the Clemson baseball team. Eli is the honorary team captain for Clemson University at the Shriners Children's College Showdown.
It's been great getting to hang out with the team. They've been very welcoming.
This is Eli, baby, and Eli's a Clemson Tiger.
I think everybody was just, all right, Eli's on our team. Here we go. Let's go. You're going to do individual defense. You're going to take batting practice. You're a part of it.
My wife and I went to ultrasound. The doctor came in and shared with us there were going to be some differences. It's called PFFD. He was born without a femur. His short leg was exactly half the length of his long leg. My dad and I talked, a week later. He knew a little bit about Shriners. What we came to understand is that this is world-class care.
It's nice knowing, I have the best doctors, and I just go to Shriners knowing I can trust them with whatever they're going to do, whether it's surgery, giving me a new leg, or just an annual checkup.
Every time a leg's made, it's amazing that it's world-class care regardless of the family's ability to pay.
What an awesome kid. What an awesome experience for everyone.
Go Tigers!
Back in Arlington, where Clemson leads 7-1. If you joined us just a few minutes late, you probably missed all those runs for Clemson, Pat. It was a fast start for the Tigers.
Oh, man. Yeah, 8 hits, 7 runs in the first inning, and a couple of big hits. A double from Colin Priest. Another double from Tristan Becerra. They just put together a big crooked inning to start this game off of starter Owen Kramkowski. Could not make it out of the first inning for Arizona.
They sent 11 to the plate in that inning. And so far, the 7-0 lead is held up. Arizona finally scratched across their first run of the game in the home half of the 5th. But give Arizona credit. Bullpen has hung in there. 4 1/3 shutout between Tony Pluta and Raul Garayzar, and now Chip Hale goes to his 3rd reliever out of the pen in Garrett Hicks, who was not initially in the reliever mix, it was thought, through fall ball, but really impressed coming into preseason and ends up being one of the last guys to make the cut to be on the travel squad, and here he is in game 2.
Well, Garrett Hicks, a strike thrower, and again, one of those guys that can pitch in a number of different roles out of that bullpen for Arizona. But fastball's not overpowering. He'll sit upright. He's low 90s, but good complement. Curveball, does have a slider or cut fastball, and then a changeup, but good command of all 4 pitches.
Goes with that curve on 0-2 and misses outside. This is his Division I debut. Put up awesome numbers at Pima Community College. Coach is very familiar with him because Pima is right there in the Tucson area. Gets a swing and a miss. Back to the off speed. Jaron Purify out in front.
Yeah, good slider to end that sequence on Purify, and a good tight spin on that slider. Purify doesn't pick it up.
This is outside here going off speed. When you say he can pitch in any role, it's something that comes from the curveball being his best pitch. You usually don't see that with a lot of guys, especially righties, but He really uses the curveball to set everything else up, and we've seen a heavy dose of it so far. There leads to a late swing on a fastball.
Yeah, just really good command of that pitch. And so what that does, it just sets it up in the hitter's mind, right? You can't sit fastball in certain counts. And that pitch just catches the outside corner, coming that backdoor breaking ball. And
perfectly placed on another curve. 1-2 to Dominic Listy. Bounces that change up. Top of the order for Clemson. A Tiger team that got off to such a hot start really haven't threatened since the first inning. Just inside as he reached back for a little extra.
Yeah, Guzman wanted the call. The catcher for the Cats doesn't get it. Fastball that tracks inside off the plate. Pitch track will tell us exactly that. Yep, a couple inches in.
Smacked, but right into the shift of Mason White with a nice scoop made by Tommy Splain, and it's out, number 2.
Yeah, good job on the back end of that play with Splain having a stretch and scoop.
A good start for Hicks, continuing the line of relievers having lots of success this weekend. We should also note, after that pinch hit appearance, Matisse Mourant, he's stayed out there in the field at third base. We're glad to have Mourant, a native of France, via the JUCO ranks. He's been in the States a while, been in Arizona playing JUCO ball. He's healthy enough now to be in the field. So he's over there at third as Luke Gaffney digs in and works the count to 1-1. Popped foul, and it's 1-2. You talk about versatile guys. Luke Gaffney saw time at different points of the fall at catcher, first, third, left, right. I mean, he was everywhere for Eric Bakich back in the fall.
That is the epitome of versatility, right?
No doubt.
I like to have those guys. Good slider.
Got him on the outside edge. A great inning from Garrett Hicks, getting a couple punch outs, keeping the deficit at 6 for Arizona. Locked him up with the slider as we go to the home half of the 6th. Arizona's heart of the order coming up. A chance to dig back into that deficit when we return.
Golden Chick's new Golden Bowl is so big, it's a whole lot of yes and a whole lot of yum. So if you like big bowls, then we cannot lie. The new loaded mashed potato bowl is a whole lot of Golden Chick, a big bowl you can't deny.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
A 7-1 lead for Clemson as we go to the home half of the 6th. First ever trip to a big league ballpark for the Tiger program. First game indoors. I'm sure they were happy about that. It was in the mid-30s throughout the Midwest last night. I saw a lot of Twitter clips, Pat, of people looking awfully cold and not many fans in the stands. So it was great to be here last night. A lot warmer today, at least in the Dallas area, but it's a great benefit to all these teams being a part of the Shriners Children's College Showdown.
No doubt, guaranteed to get all your games in with this covered stadium here, Globe Life Field, and of course just the environment, the atmosphere. A lot of these players, you know, watched the World Series of a couple of seasons ago, got to see the Rangers win one, and in this very ballpark, and just a lot of excitement around opening day, opening weekend. But then you have the added impulse of, you know, playing in this type of environment.
Arizona, before losing last night, had never lost in their brief history in this venue. We're 3-0 as it's 2-0 to Mason White. Skies one into shallow left, long run out for Chufo, but Listy's right there and makes the catch. Second inning of work for the closer, Drew Titsworth. Did give up a run in the 5th. Our first extended look at Titsworth against the heart of an order, and he gets out White.
Well, you referenced earlier, Ben, that Titsworth has closer type stuff, and he certainly has showed flashes of that. You consider him to be part of that potential back end part of the bullpen for Clemson.
This is just outside to Aaron Walton. Coaches say his fastball is one that plays uphill. Here he's behind 1-0 to Walton. There's a good look at that fastball. What do coaches mean when they describe a fastball acting like that?
Yeah, it's really just the arm angle. He has a kind of a low slot to that release, and you know, a lot of spin behind that fastball as well. And it appears to a hitter like the ball could rise, especially if it's up in the zone. It actually just holds its plane with that arm angle, but yeah, it just plays differently, especially up. So you'll see him throw fastballs more so up in the zone, especially after he gets ahead. He'll throw the slider as well. That's a good pitch.
Finds the front door to make it 2-2.
He's a pitcher that ranked in the 80th percentile last season for swing and misses and pitches in the strike zone. So again, a testament to his stuff and that release point.
The 2-2. This is upstairs. Count runs full. Clemson had 3 pitchers drafted last year. Some really good arms to replace from a staff that had the 3rd best ERA in the ACC. 3rd most saves as well. Punched back up the middle, but right at the perfectly placed Jaron Purify. 2 up, 2 down.
Ball hit right back at it. Purify again. When you look at how these players are positioned today, the scouting reports in college baseball have just gotten so much better the last 4 or 5 years, and there are typically no surprises when you look at those reports and see how to position your defense.
It is funny, with that being the case, Pat, that Clemson in the first inning against a pitcher they admittedly did not know much about in Owen Kramkowski. Sometimes you see some paralysis by analysis.
That's right.
And at times it works out in your favor, like what we just saw with the defensive positioning. But these guys at the same time are really, really good individually, and Clemson was able to lean on that essentially pure instinct in the first inning. As the count goes 1-1 on Splain.
No doubt. And like, you know, not a lot of track record, as Nick Schnauble told us. You know, we didn't have a lot on Kramkowski, but we did know he was going to be around the zone. So we, told the offense, hey, be ready, be on time, but be aggressive. That's oftentimes what you want to do, especially with a young pitcher who has not had that many innings, collegiately at this level.
And when in doubt, be aggressive. It's 1-2 now to Tommy Splain. Fastball that rises up to 95, misses outside. 4-0 with a 3.15 ERA last year. He was more of a setup guy, was Titsworth. Did not have a save, but only gave up the 7 earned, just 10 hits allowed across 20 innings pitched. And gets another 3-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, fastball just off the outer edge of the plate. And good call there by Matt Anderson, home plate umpire. Looked like Titsworth wanted that pitch, but well off the plate.
Comes inside, slider didn't do much for Titsworth, and it's a 2-out walk. Just the second free pass of the day for Arizona as they bring up Dom Rodriguez, a guy with tons of power. Coaches are super excited about making his Arizona debut today.
Be a pinch hitter possibly.
Looks like they pull Rodriguez back, so we will not see a third AB for him. Instead, it's Maddox Mikalakis. Mikalakis watches a changeup bounce in the dirt. He figures to be just about an everyday starter for Arizona. Mikalakis finished the year outstanding last season and then had a great summer in the North Woods League where he hit over 400.
Yeah, quick timeout here by Jacob Gerald. Try to calm his pitcher down, Drew Titsworth. Last few pitches have been out of the zone, and just give him a breath. But yeah, how about the last season and the summer that Mikalakis put together? A potential breakout candidate for this Arizona team, and again, just a ton of competition, just showing you how difficult it is to break into these lineups with the type of spring and summer he put together.
He watches a fastball in for a strike. You would have figured, based on the numbers, how it ended last year. Ended up with 3 homers, 32 driven in, but a lot of that production came at the back end of 2024. But I thought he'd be in there from day one. Here swings and misses as it goes to 1-2.
Yeah, he got himself in that Wildcat lineup last season and worked his way into by the end of the year he was the cleanup hitter for the Cats. This year so far just having a tough time getting into the lineup.
Inside on 1-2. Arizona in need of a spark. Got 1 run back in the 5th inning after Clemson scored all 7 of their runs in an 11-batter, 8-hit first inning. Arizona has actually out-hit Clemson since then. Shot to left field, but just under it. Listy ranges back, has plenty of room, and makes the catch to end the 6th. Drew Titsworth works around the 2-out walk as we go to the 7th. Still Clemson in command, leading by 6. Clemson on top of Arizona 7-1 as we welcome you back to Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers in Arlington. And this is just the start of 3 outstanding weekends of baseball. The Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota is bringing the heat next Friday through Sunday. 4 powerhouse programs. Arkansas, TCU, Michigan, and Kansas State are set to battle it out in an epic early season clash. Do not miss your chance to see some of the nation's top teams go head-to-head in high-stakes matchups that will set the tone for the season. How about Michigan upset win over Virginia yesterday, Pat? They were big underdogs in that game. And they will come in with a lot of confidence, you'd think, after that.
Oh, man. Yeah, and it's, you know, you never know what you're going to get early season, right? Even a couple of ranked teams today playing. Clemson out with a big lead, but, you know, we know Arizona's a much improved ball club over the last couple of seasons. And so, yeah, you just never know what you're going to get, especially opening weekend.
Cam Canarella digging for 2 off the aggressive turn. He's safe. Not satisfied with the single. Arizona thought they had him dead to rights at second and immediately asked for the umpires to come together and potentially review.
Yeah, great job getting that ball back to the infield, and good throw here from center fielder Aaron Walton. Cut it off nice and an accurate throw, and Garrett Caulfield thought he got him. Maybe if he keeps that tag on him throughout, because that foot did come up off the bag. It looks like the tag may have been applied a little bit late, even with that foot coming up off second base. So they are going to take a look at it here. So we'll have our first official review of day 2.
Matt Anderson and his crew, Casey Mosier, Mark Hutchison, Seth Buckminster go ahead and initiate the review. 7-1 game here in the 7th. I understood where Caulfield was coming from there, Pat, but it was, look, that foot kind of went up and over, then came down to the bags. I would be surprised if they overturned this.
Yeah, Caulfield did a good job keeping the tag on throughout the process, but that back leg of Canarella makes contact and never comes off the bag. I think this call is going to stand, and Canarella is going to have himself a double.
You figure this will be a relatively short review as Canarella will have collected his second hits, and they will confirm that as a double.
Second base umpire Mark Hutchison on top of that play. Took a bullet to the leg back in the first inning when Clemson put together that 7 spot.
At part of that Big 12 umpiring crew, you saw Nick Schnauble, the acting head coach. One more game for him in that position, and we will see Eric Bakich tomorrow. He is at the hotel. It's interesting. He's got our feed on. I know that, but he's also a honorary member of the Clemson radio broadcast. But you don't blame Eric Bakich. He's a guy with a great sense of humor. Very self-deprecating about his suspension and how it all played out. He said he tried appealing, and it was like playing basketball and trying to go for a shot at the rim and just getting rejected immediately. No chance. Get that out of here.
Yeah, by the rim.
0-1 here to Josh Pano. And they have not missed a beat without their head coach in the dugout these first 2 games, as the count runs to 0-2. When you think about how Eric Bakich and Nick Schnauble, not only are they here together in their 3rd year, but they were with each other all 10 years at Coach Bakich's previous stop, Michigan, where he made 5 NCAA tournaments. Swing and a miss here by Pano for the first out.
Yeah, it just goes back to the preparation of the team and getting them ready for the start of this season. But, you know, like you said, great assistant coaches, Schnauble and Jimmy Bellinger, their pitching coach. Griffin Missouri, the coach that also came over from Michigan. But, yeah, it's just a great staff. And they've got these Clemson Tigers playing well early in the season.
Another look at Colin Priest making his first start as a Tiger. Watches that curveball go outside. Yeah, Griffin Mazur over at third base, the third base coach who played for coaches Bakich and Schnauble at Michigan. There's a slider in there for a strike. Every sort of scouting report you read on this Clemson 2025 team, it reads balanced, complete, no glaring weaknesses, all the sorts of things you want. Priest with a rip into right center. Long run off the glove of a diving Aaron Walton. Canarella held up to make sure it got down. He scores, and it's 8-1 Clemson.
You talked about what a big pickup Colin Priest has been. Of course, the Michigan transfer here to Clemson, but squares up that fastball. Yeah, just a pitch that was left out of the middle of the plate, and he is not going to miss those too often. Aaron Walton with a great dive off the tip of his glove, but not able to make the play, and that'll result in the 8th run, the first run since back in the first inning for Clemson. But Priest just showing that great mature approach he has. Rocketing that double.
Chop to the left side. Nice pick by Morant. Makes the play on Gerald. And that's the second out of the 7th. With Tristan Bissetta back up. Here's another look at that pick.
Yeah, difficult play. Again, on the short hop. Not before it takes that big spin hop. And Morant does a good job charging that pitch, or charging that ground ball. Making a good strong throw across the diamond.
A frozen rope foul by Bissetta, who has a couple hits today, single and a double. As you look at Garrett Hicks, his second inning of work in relief. So far, 6 full innings pitched by Arizona relievers. That was the first run allowed on the double by Priest.
You know, part of the philosophy of hitting with this Clemson team, you look at these hitters, almost every hitter is off the end of that bat. I mean, they are choking up ½ inch, an inch. They get down to the count, you'll see them even choke up a little further.
About to see the same thing here with a 1-2 count to Bissetta.
It just helps increase bat control, and in an era when power is a premium, you see guys just stay on the end of that bat all the time, and this Clemson Tiger team has a different philosophy.
We've seen a lot of 2-strike pitches like that spoiled today.
Yeah, just nice short swings, right? That's exactly what you teach. That's what you want from your hitters. You know, shorten up with 2 strikes. I mean, we used to, hitting coaches used to harbor on that. All right, get off that knob and put the ball in play.
High pop up on 1-2. This one will stay in play for Morant in foul territory and makes the catch. Clemson does get their first run since the first inning on an impressive double by Colin Priest. Stretch time at Globe Life Field. It's 8-1 Tigers. Stretch time at Globe Life Field in Arlington. The Arizona fans, even though they're down a few runs, having a lot of fun. 8-1 Clemson as we go to the bottom of the 7th. It has been a very fun weekend so far for Clemson. Tigers got a comeback win over Oklahoma State. They just showed a fan wearing a South Carolina t-shirt. That's why you saw that fan booing. So Clemson fans, they came ready to rock. Had the 6-5 win over Oklahoma State yesterday. And part of what has made this Clemson team really fun to get to know is all the different unique things they've done in the offseason, including a fall scrimmage they had against the Savannah Bananas, which, if you're unfamiliar with the Bananas, they are about the most eccentric minor league independent league team you will see, and Clemson played right along with the bit. How cool is this? Doing the full banana dance and a perfect 10 on the backflip back in fall.
And the pitch for a strike. Yeah, how about that? That is some fun baseball when you go out to see the Savannah Bananas. If you haven't done that, that's just an experience. We call him our adopted son, Travis Benoit. Travis was a former Chicago White Sox player, lived with us for a couple of years, and he is now part of the Bananas, and he is having a blast.
It's great stuff. It's a first pitch base hit for Easton Breifigel, who has been one of the few bright spots for Arizona today. 3 for 3, couple doubles, and now a base hit. He greets the new pitcher, Chance Fitzgerald, third pitcher today for Clemson, who gets the ball on the 7th.
Yeah, Breifigel didn't waste any time, just steps up to the plate, and it's the first pitch he sees off of Fitzgerald.
Adonis Guzman, he's seen a lot of pitches behind the dish as catcher today. Watches a strike in there, 0-2. We'll see fastball low 90s for Fitzgerald. Expect a cutter in the mid 80s. Also mixes in a slider. Oh, that one served back up the middle. Great piece of 2-strike hitting, stays on the slider, and Arizona has the first 2 reach in the 7th.
Yeah, nice pitch hitting by Guzman. Just stays on that slider, as you mentioned, Ben, going down in the zone to get it. Not a bad pitch by Fitzgerald. Not really where he wanted to throw it. Guzman just did a much better job of staying on it and staying through the ball. First couple of Wildcats reaching here in the 7th.
So quick visit out to the mound. Jacob Jarrell calming down the sophomore from Sanford, Florida, Chance Fitzgerald.
Yeah, the cutter is Fitzgerald's best pitch. It's a swing and miss type pitch. It's a hard fastball, hard cutter. Fastball's in the 90-92 range, but that cutter will sit upper 80s.
Morant's second AB since entering the game as a pinch hitter for Morales in the 5th, has stayed in the game at 3rd. Another base hit back up the middle. Morant, his first base hit as a Wildcat, goes for a run as he drives home Breifigel. And it's 3 straight hits for Arizona to open the 7th.
Well, kind of a replay of the previous hitter, Adonis Guzman, and Matisse Morant again goes down, gets a pitch down and away, and Fitzgerald making some pretty good pitches, but the Wildcats just doing a better job staying on those pitches. Right back up the box for Morant. He'll pick up his first base hit of the year.
Brings out our first pitching coach visit of the day on the Clemson side. Jimmy Bellinger, in his 3rd year, was a College World Series participant at Louisville. They were their first ever trip to Omaha. Has since carved out a name for himself as one of the premier pitching coaches in college baseball. You see him with the chat to Chance Fitzgerald right now.
Yeah, long conversation, but yeah, it's just a reminder at times when pitchers are making good pitches that are getting hit, You just got to clear your head, keep making those pitches. They're going to result in outs at some point. But he's staying down in the zone, moving the ball around, and good spin on his breaking pitches. Just hasn't gone his way yet.
And that mound visit especially apt because Brendan Summerhill, one of the best prospects in college baseball, comes to the plate and gets ahead in the count 1-0 as the fastball misses.
Yeah, saw the double barrel action in the Tiger bullpen. They have a righty and lefty up at the moment.
Summerhill gets into this one, way back to right. It's gone. Arizona is right back in it off the bat of Brendan Summerhill.
Well, how about that? We often say it only takes one swing, and it certainly has taken just one swing off the heels of 3 straight singles. Just like that, Arizona back in it. They have closed the lead to 3. Brendan Summerhill's no doubter. Nice catch out in right field as well by the fan. Brought his glove and made use of it. 2 rows up.
We talk about scouting reports for players in the field. That was perfect positioning by the fan out there in right. 103 miles an hour off the bat for Brendan Summerhill. And for Chance Fitzgerald, 4 batters faced, 3 singles and a homer. That will result in the long walk from pitching coach Jimmy Bellinger. He comes out, makes the change, as Reed Garris will be the next one thrown to the fire for Clemson, as all of a sudden this has gone from comfortable 7-run lead to tight 3-run affair into the late innings.
Well, that was really the only mistake pitch he made in the inning, I thought, was that pitch was a cutter up in the zone, and Summerhill just crushed it. But yeah, tough outing for Fitzgerald.
We'll set up the new pitcher, Reed Garris, into the frame right after this from Arlington. It's gotten a little interesting at Globe Life Field in Arlington. 8-5 Clemson in a game that was 7-0 after the first inning. 3-run homer by Brendan Summerhill has resulted in a new pitcher for Clemson. It's Reed Garris, the Mount Pleasant, South Carolina native, who comes now into a save situation. Pat, still nobody out here. 4 runs already in the 7th inning.
Well, Garris trying to put a clamp on this offensive outburst here in the 7th inning by the Cats, and he is one of those wily veterans, 3 years on staff, and saw the ERA a bit elevated. But what you like about him is he's a strike thrower. 25 Ks, only 4 walks last season. One of those high slot right-handers, just not afraid of anything, just comes right at hitters, and not an overpowering fastball in the low 90s, but a really good cutter and slider combination. Garris just a bulldog.
Ahead 0-2 right on cue. Bit of an overthrow there as he faces Garen Caulfield. You don't see this every day. 3rd string catcher as a freshman. All of a sudden, Reed Garris goes from third catcher option to reliable reliever. 48th career appearance. Bounces the cutter in the dirt.
Well, good point. You never like to say it, but yeah, it has that catcher body, but it has translated well to the mound. And I like to see that. Catchers just have a different perspective, especially when they become pitchers.
No doubt. 6-1, 3.67 career ERA. Good numbers. Swing and a miss. Pumps the fastball by Caulfield for the first out.
Hey, that time changed the eye level with the fastball up in the zone, and Caulfield not able to hold off. You know, well above his hands.
That stops the bleeding for Clemson, who, as a staff, gave up 4 straight hits, 4 runs to start the inning. As big bopper Mason White comes to the dish, takes the first pitch strike.
And what you notice about Garris is that, you know, he's got that short arm action, just like a catcher. Takes the ball out of his glove. Doesn't even have any arm swing much at all. That ball, he hides it well. It's hard to pick up off his hand. Hitters will tell you they'd much rather see a bigger arm swing to try to pick up the ball on the release, but Garris is short, gets to the top quickly. That ball just kind of gets on you fast.
And then when you're ready for it, he does that.
He pulls the string, yeah.
Yeah. 1 and 2 ahead of White. Had the big fly last night, but has struggled today. 0 for 3, couple of Ks. The 1-2. Back to the changeup. That misses outside.
Yeah, now watch Garris. He'll have his split-fingered grip. That's what he'll use as his changeup. That was that pitch previously. That hit the dirt. It was that split finger that he uses as a change.
Goes back to the fastball, and it's fouled off.
Yeah, he gets that thing wide, too. You oftentimes don't see pitchers get that wide on the ball. He really splits it out.
That's a great shot into the glove of Garris ahead of this 2-2 offering. Call, strike 3. Froze him with the fastball. 2 batters, 2 Ks for Reed Garris.
Yeah, one of those high spin fastballs. You'll see that in the hitter's mind, he's thinking that ball's going to sink low and away, and it just holds it plain. And nice job by Gerald to frame up. And I'm sure in Mason White's mind, he's thinking that ball's just going to get off the plate. That 4-seam fastball will stay right there on the outside corner.
Gets Walton out in front on the little cut fastball. We were told by Coach Eric Bakich Garris would likely see time this weekend. He's waited to use him in a pretty big moment. But the staff struggling a little bit, attempting to hold what was a 7-run lead, now down to 3.
Well, Tigers know what they have with Lucas Malstead. He came in yesterday, blanked a couple of innings on the board against Oklahoma State. Garris is one of those guys that can work himself into that back end. And
that's popped pretty well to center. Canarella going back, just has enough room. 398 off the bat of Walton, but not far enough. Arizona, though, does get a little bit closer. 4 runs come home in the 7th inning. 3 of them on this swing. Brendan Summerhill, potential first-round pick in next year's draft. He shows why with that big bop, as it's Arizona within 3. Getting late at Globe Life Field in Arlington, our first of 3 games today. Day 2 of the Shriners Children's College Showdown. Arizona, though, showing some life. They were down 8-1, Pat, but not anymore after that great last half inning.
Yeah, they started piecing some hits together, and finally get a few guys on base. And Reifogel and Guzman. Morant had his first base of the season, and that big bomb right there from Summerhill closes the gap. Arizona right back in it.
Combined with the fact that the 3 relievers have tossed 6 1/3 innings and have only allowed 1 run on 5 hits, has to at least make you optimistic if you're Chip Hale, the head coach, with how the bats have now woken up. It's a good look at Easton Reifogel, who started the rally last inning. Called strike taken by Andrew Chufo, 8-9-1 for Clemson. As they face another hurler, it is the lefty Eric Orloff, an Illinois native, who digs in and gets an offer from Chufo. He did not like that Matt Anderson elected it not to appeal down to first base in the umpire Casey Mosier.
Yeah, Chufo thought he held the swing. I thought it was a swing, but home plate umpire Matt Anderson says, I got you anyway.
Just outside on 0-2.
Yeah, Orloff, one of those crossfire lefties. A lot of deception in that delivery, and tough to pick up the way he hides the ball, and doesn't play with a lot of velo, but really good breaking stuff.
In on the hands with that slider. You'll see fastball, slider, curveball.
Yeah, mixes in the occasional changeup, and it's a good one out of that low 3/4 slot.
Swing and a miss. It's Chufo to chase on the off speed.
A good breaking pitch to finish off Chufo, and yeah, kind of backdoor breaker, and Chufo way out in front.
Numbers last year for Orloff all came in relief, but he's a guy who has gotten the ball a ton. Here he just misses inside with Purify showing bunt. 73rd career appearance now in his 4th year as a Wildcat.
Yeah, he doesn't eat up a ton of innings, but man, he can bounce back quick. He's got one of those rubber arms, and oftentimes they'll use him 2 out of the 3 games during a weekend.
Evens it back 1-1. He did pitch a couple times in the postseason last year and was very good. Pac-12 tournament and in the regional, not allowing a run in his 2 appearances, and is up 1-2 on Jaron Purify.
You get a left-hander in college baseball, and you can throw strikes and mix in a few different pitches. You're going to find a spot on most staffs.
Just outside on a changeup. This almost feels like a half inning, like in tennis when you break serve, then you have to consolidate the break.
That's right.
That they talk about. Got to hold now after you've gotten a little momentum here if you're Arizona.
That's exactly right. Good analogy.
Swing and a miss. Tag put down by Guzman, and that's 2 outs. So no walks, 8 strikeouts now by this Arizona bullpen.
Yeah, they have been outstanding, and just to keep this game where it is, of course, giving up the 1 run last inning, but it allows your offense to get on track, figure out a way to scratch some runs across. They did that. Now we're in a completely different situation than we were an inning ago.
You and I sat here last night watching Texas seemingly be in complete control, but were unable to tack on in the late innings, and it eventually bit them. Strike taken by Dominic Listy, blew a 2-run lead, 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 9th.
Yep, then regained the lead in the extra inning in the 10th, but then lost it in the bottom of the inning. So, yeah, it was a crazy game last night. A lot of fun to watch.
1-2 here to Dominic Listy. 2-0 day for the ACC in this tournament on day one, and Clemson has been in front the whole way. All 7 runs from the first few frames came in that first inning. Listy lays off a good-looking slider, 2-2. Only 1 run and 5 hits since then for Clemson. Just misses on 2-2. Count full to Listy. 3 for his first 6 to start his first campaign as a Tiger, the grad transfer from Indiana State. That hits him. Slider slipping out of the hand of the new hurler in Eric Orloff, and it's a 2-out base runner with this dangerous top of the Clemson order.
Yeah, slider didn't slide. You're going to get hit. That's a good place to get hit. Look at that expression. Listy says, "I'll take it."
See,
that's a gamer, man.
It's interesting. I remember being really annoyed if I ever got hit on a 3-ball pitch, because I'm like, come on, man. I'm trying to help my walk to strikeout ratio.
Yeah, it's ball 4 anyway, right?
And usually, I'm playing from behind. You're trying to get that thing evened out. I'd be like, come on, man. You couldn't have thrown that behind me completely.
Right.
But
added insult, but not to Dominic Listy. He was like, let's go.
Yeah, no doubt. Luke Gaffney had a big go-ahead hit down the line yesterday in the come-from-behind win. Can't hold up on that slider, and it's 1-1.
Well, this Wildcat pitching staff says we are not going to give in to this guy. He has seen just a steady diet of off-speed pitches all day.
A slicer down the right field line, 1-2. And to bring in a guy who not only has power, 13 homers, 64 RBI, those were Purdue freshman records last year, but to walk as nearly as many times as he struck out. Runner on the move. It's a swing and a miss, so it's irrelevant on the throw as that K ends the inning. And Eric Orloff comes in, gets 3 punch outs, sandwiched around 8 hit by pitch. Still a 3-run game as we go to the bottom of the 8th, 8-5. Clemson on top. .85 game as we welcome you back into the bottom of the 8th. Hey, your college sports have a home on Flow College. Watch more than 12,000 college sporting events from 100 schools and 12 different conferences only on Flow College. Head to flowcollege.com today to see everything now. It's gotten a little nerve-wracking for the Clemson fans. You've got shirts coming off. Rally time, Pat. 8th inning. Arizona feels like they have life. A lot of energy over in that dugout. Just put up a 4 spot in the 7th to get to within 3 runs. And first pitch, swinging, aggressive approach from Tommy Splain, but easily flies out to right field as Reed Garris. He's had something to say about that Arizona rally. He's been awesome. 4 up, 4 down since he entered.
Sure has, and a couple of strikeouts mixed in, and he has been everything as advertised, and couple of guys that are, Eric Bakich is looking forward to seeing how they handle the back end of this bullpen. But Malstead did his job last night, and now Garris seemingly in control of this one since coming in.
Got the 2-inning 6-out save from Nathan Dvorsky last night. As it's 0-1 to Maddox Mikalakis. Under this one to left field, long run over by Listy, and it's the third baseman Pano who got all the way over there to make the catch. What a play.
Well, what a play indeed, but man, it's a difficult play for a third baseman, just going back as the ball's tracking back towards the field with that spin on it. They did a good job of just adjusting last second. Had to make a leap for it, and gloves it. Flashing some leather again. A couple of great plays for him at third base today.
And as much as he is viewed as a second elite shortstop, those aren't plays you're used to making as a shortstop, ranging that way, that angle into foul territory.
Yeah, it's a much different angle coming from short versus third base, and makes the play. Well, Chip Hale trying to slow this one down. A couple of quick outs already here in the 8th inning, and quick meeting with his offense.
You have to wonder, would Garris be sent out for the 9th inning based on the pace he's on? Just 17 pitches to get 5 outs.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt.
This is inside to Easton Breifigel, who started the 4-run rally last inning. The first 4 reached. Didn't want to, but he did. 1-1. Chip Hale, head coach, loves the fact that Easton Breifigel is now healthy. Banged up last year, did make 40 starts. When he played, was good. On base percentage of over 350 as he fouls this one off.
Yeah, great athlete. Might be one of the fastest players, if not the fastest on the roster for Arizona. And he can flat get out of the box.
The 1-2. Change up, never threatened the plate. Just inside on the fastball.
Yeah, Garris looking to attack the inside part of the plate, just missed in. You saw him wipe with his glove to his chest. That's either changing the pitch or changing location. Looked like he wanted to change the pitch there. Going back in with that fastball.
Swing and a miss. A foul tip into the glove of Gerald. And Reed Garris's big Saturday continues. 6 up, 6 down out of the pen, and we go to the 9th with Clemson still on top by 3 outs away from going to 2-0 on the season. Ninth inning of game 1 on this Saturday triple-header. Clemson on top of Arizona by 3. That means we've got fully dressed Cowboys ready to go. Oklahoma State, Louisville, they're back here, Pat. It was a long, late night for Louisville and Texas.
Sure was.
They got the walk-off last night. That was the moment of day 1. Oklahoma State lost a heartbreaker 6-5 to Clemson to start the tournament yesterday. That's game number 2. Pumped to watch that one. Texas Ole Miss in the nightcap. How about that?
Yeah, should be a good one as well. Saturday matinee. The Cowboys and the Cardinals, and what a comeback win for Louisville last night over Texas.
Meanwhile, Clemson gets off to a good start in this inning. It's Cam Canarella shooting it fair down the left field line, and the second 2-bagger for Canarella, his 3rd hit today. A big bounce back after striking out 3 times yesterday.
Yeah, held hitless yesterday, but you know you're not going to keep Cam Canarella down long, and a couple of doubles and a single today. 3rd hit for him, and goes the opposite way. Looked like he got beat a bit. I just fought that ball off, but that ball hugs the 3rd baseline, stays just inside of it. Seth Buckminster says that is a fair ball, and Canarella will take the double.
Tough way to start your season if you're Jack Berg. Come in, immediately face one of the best hitters in the country in Canarella. A pull back on the bunt attempt by Josh Pano. D1 debut for the 6'4" sophomore from Everett, Washington. 2 really good seasons at Tacoma JUCO. Swing and a miss on 1-0. How about this? He had Tommy John surgery at 17 years old. As a junior in high school.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're seeing more and more of that today. You know, with the use of pitchers, especially going from spring ball into summer ball. A lot of stress on these arms, these showcase events. You got to have them to see the talent, but got to be careful how you're being used as a high school pitcher. But this is a guy that the staff is really excited about. Could eventually work himself into the rotation. Just really good stuff.
Down 2-1 to Pano. Attempting to get the bunt down, can't here.
Nick Schnauble playing for that 1 run, try to get that lead back up to at least 4. Pano showing bunt there. Jack Berg, his fastball is a sinking fastball. It sits low 90s. Also can turn it over to throw a 4-seamer, slider, and a changeup. A good command for a young hurler.
There's the slider just inside. Count runs full. That's the unique part about Berg, a guy who has 2 distinct fastballs who run the same velocity, but they have different movements on them.
And the key there is just knowing when to use them, and this guy has a really good idea how to pitch.
Inside, ball 4 to Pano. Josh Pano aboard for the 2nd time, and right away some stress for Jack Berg. Has to face Colin Priest, who's been awesome in his Clemson debut. 3 hits, 2 of them doubles.
Well, you'd think the situation would dictate a bunt here from Priest, but Priest has just got a ton of power. So we'll see how Nick Schnauble chooses to play it with Priest. Arizona not expecting bunt.
Just misses outside 1-0 to Colin Priest.
And Matisse Morant, the 3rd baseman for the Cats, about even with the bag. I think they're going to let Priest swing away here.
I got him, yep. Tried to challenge Priest, and now the bases are loaded with nobody out.
It looked like a fastball just rode up and in and catches him right on that elbow guard. Yeah, may have caught the wrist. This is going to bring a visit out of the Arizona dugout yet again for Kevin Vance, his third trip to the mound today.
And all of our conversation about would Clemson send Reed Garris out for a third inning, get a 9-out save, that would be somewhat irrelevant here if the Tigers can scratch at least one, if not two, on the board and make this a more comfortable margin yet again. You see that quick working Arizona bullpen. Matthew Martinez, senior from Peoria, Arizona, getting loose. Kevin Vance knows what it's like pitching in these late game situations. The pitching coach who just came out, he was a great two-way player, second most saves in UConn program history. Played back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and his young pitcher Jack Berg in his D1 debut, and quite the pickle as the infield comes in.
We'll see how the young hurler can work through some adversity.
Gerald watches a fastball high. That ball just leaked past Adonis Guzman, but not far enough away for Canarella to try to go.
Well, you saw the third baseman for the Cats, Morant, break towards third base. Guzman came out of his crouch like he wanted to try to pick off. Canarella at third just bobbled it on the transfer and had to eat it.
Tough spot here. 2-0. Tougher spot now. 3-0. Bases loaded. Nowhere to go in a 3-run game. Arizona already desperate to keep this thing within striking distance.
I think here Gerald takes a strike. Let's put a little bit more pressure on the young pitcher.
Can't find the zone. Clemson had back-to-back bases loaded walks yesterday when they were down 3 runs. Here they get a bases loaded walk, already up 3, and now lead at 9-5.
Yeah, Jack Berg usually has pretty good command of his pitches, but 3 free passes in a row.
The middle being the hit by pitch. And he got another one. Wow.
Well, now you got to go get him. Yeah, it's just one of those situations where the moment got a little bit big for Berg, and the call has been made. Chip Hale will go to the pen.
It's the reality of these opening weekend tournaments. Some pitchers come in, look awesome. Others just don't have it. And unfortunately for Arizona, their starter, Owen Kramkowski, only got 2 outs before being pulled, and Jack Berg unable to record an out. Those 2 on the mound, giving up 9 runs. New pitcher into the fray. We'll set up Matthew Martinez when we return. 2 runs already in the top of the 9th for Clemson. Bases are still loaded. There's nobody out. Not the way you'd like to come into a game, but Matthew Martinez will try to get Arizona back to the dugout with at least a little bit of life into the bottom of the 9th. A lefty whose dad Joe pitched for the Wildcats. To the righty, Matthew Martinez. 15 appearances last year. Did struggle at times, but they are really high on his changeup, Pat.
Oh yeah, it's a plus changeup and a pretty good slider as well. That's what he starts off Chufo with. But Matthew Martinez, always fun to watch. He is animated, just really enjoys the game.
Popped into right field. Summerhill backs up. Priest tagging. They will send him as the throw comes to third, and not in time to get the tagging Gerald. Another run crosses, and it's 11-5.
Well, Martinez gets the pop up, but Chufo does a good job of getting it out there at about mid outfield. Plenty of space to score Priest and move Gerald to third base. So Clemson bumps the lead now back to 6.
Andrew Chufo, his first RBI of the season, with Jaron Purify digging in. All 3 of the runs this inning charged to Jack Berg. Was unable to get an out. A couple of walks, couple hit by pitch. Changeup misses high.
Yeah, the velo for Martinez will play better than low 90s. That changeup and slider is really what you have to pay attention to as a hitter. Both his out pitches.
That one's roped, but foul.
That ball just kept chasing somebody in the stands over there. He could not get out of the way. That was a rocket.
A Texas fan down there came up with the ball. Longhorns in the nightcap tonight, as it's still runners on the corners, just 1 out. Purify watches a fastball outside, 2-1. It's been fun to watch Purify grow as a hitter. Struggled at the plate a lot last year, but even though his OPS was only around 700, his pure energy was enough to keep him in the lineup. Says a lot about a team that was good enough to be in a super regional. They still found a place for Purify. Lays off the changeup, and it's 3-1. Originally, Purify committed to Michigan to play for Eric Bakich. Then he gets the Clemson job. So Jaron, he said, well, I don't know anything about Clemson. And Eric Bakich said, oh, go look it up.
Right.
He takes a curveball outside, ball 4. The Purify draws the walk, bases loaded. There's a reason why Eric Bakich wanted him to come to Clemson. Had a great prep career. Actually started back when he was a kid. Made the Little League World Series back in 2018. And Purify is now on first after the walk. There's a good look at Jaron. Gives a lot of credit to his mom, Betty Moore. She worked multiple jobs to support the family, was a physical education teacher in the area, would take Jaron to work with her a lot of days, and all that hard work has paid off. Top of the order now, and a bullet into right field. Multiple runs coming across as Dominic Listy is at it again. His 3rd hit today.
Well, and add a couple more RBI to his name, and Listy's off to a great start this season. No doubt the excitement around him, especially at the top of this order. That ball was just a rocket, right on time for Listy. Top of the big RBI and hit he had yesterday, and he is padding those totals here in this young season.
It's that heart of the order for Clemson. Just when you think you can let up, got to the bottom of the order to the last couple of batters, but no, it turns over and another crooked number. When this lineup gets rolling and in rhythm, really hard to slow down. That's 12 runs combined between 2 half innings.
Yeah, we talked about all the pieces that Eric Bakich and his staff added. Of course, Luke Gaffney, the Purdue transfer, but Listy, another one. You know, the top of your order when you consider how this transfer portal is used, and you're able to get 2 players of that caliber to step right in and again just produce at a high rate, especially early in the season. You can see why this staff is super excited. They already had some really good pieces coming back, and they had just filled the gaps.
1-2 to Gaffney. This is with the changeup, 2-2. 9th man to hit in the 9th inning. Clemson sent 11 to the plate in the 1st inning. That set the tone. 7-0 lead. But not sleeping on their laurels after Arizona put up 4 runs in the 7th. Got this to within a 3-run game. Wave and a miss. Good pitch on the curveball.
Well, second out of the inning, and Martinez. Nice tight spin. Bottom drops out of it. Gaffney, 3rd straight strikeout. 4 on the game. They just attacked him with a lot of off speed, a lot of spin.
One more chance at the plate, though, for Cam Cannarella, and he powers one down the line and right. That's down, a fair ball. It is hit number 4 for Cannarella, double number 3 as he drives in Purify. A 6th spot in the 9th for Clemson.
Well, and Camarella's 2nd double of the inning started this whole mess off. At the top of the 9th, and he'll pick up an RBI double. And Clemson's lead extends now 14-5, but yeah, mistake pitch up out over the plate. Cannarella just straightens it out.
It's a great look at Cannarella. It's so much fun playing. The fact that he's fully healthy now, big plus. Another bullet into left. That's off the bat of Josh Pano. Around 3rd comes Cannarella as both he and Dominic Listy score, and this thing is blown wide open, 16-5.
Well, you just got to that point in the game where, you know, Matthew Martinez steps in. He knows he's going to be out there. You hate to dip into that bullpen anymore. You've got another game tomorrow, so they're going to stick with the senior. Up to him to figure out how to get out of this inning.
Called strike taken by Priest. And Arizona has the early game again tomorrow. We'll have Arizona against Louisville. Just outside. It's the thing, if you're an Arizona fan, you love about having a manager like Chip Hale in your dugout, because he's not someone who will overreact.
Right.
Being around the game as long as he has, winning a title as a player at Arizona, a World Series with the Nationals. He didn't get too high back in 2022 when they came here and outscored Kansas State, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech by a cajillion. They scored 35 runs in that 3-game series. But he stayed even keel, kept his team engaged, and ultimately made a regional that year.
Well, that's it. And, you know, all these coaches said to us in our, calls this week that, you could go 0-3 in this tournament and very easily find yourself in a postseason, position. And, yeah, Chip Hale's not going to panic at all. There's no panic in that dugout. This is a time when you really have to figure out, roles with the bullpen and how you're going to play, over the course of the next few weeks to get ready for conference play. And there's a ton of excitement with this program, with Arizona going into the Big 12 and knowing that they've got a shot to finish the season well. And they were picked by Big 12 coaches near the top of the conference. I think picked number 2 behind Oklahoma State. So, yeah, you chalk this game up as a loss no matter what the score is. You just move on to the next day.
2-2 to Priest. Swing and a miss. Martinez finally gets out of it, but not before 12 come to the plate. And an 8th run. Clemson, 9th inning. They've blown it wide open. Tigers well on their way to going 2-0 in the Shriners Children's College Showdown. Oklahoma State baseball patiently waiting to get underway. Second game of our Saturday triple-header. Same deal for Louisville, who had the walk-off win last night over Texas. It has been a great start for ACC teams. On the road to 3-0 as Clemson leads at 16-5. We have a new pitcher into the game. So much for Reed Garris potentially having a 9-out save, Pat. No longer after the 8-run ninth. So Joe Allen steps in and gets a swing and a miss from pinch hitter TJ Adams.
A couple of nice sliders to start off his appearance. 6'3", 225-pound junior from Hampton Falls, New Hampshire.
Josh misses on 0-2.
Just missed downstairs. That is an out pitch. The slider is nasty, and fastball that will be upper 80s, low 90s, but that is the out. The frisbee.
Went back to it and barely missed. 3-2. He's done a little bit of everything. Joe Allen has been a long reliever, a spot starter. 30th career appearance. And he gets the wave and a miss. Tried the slider one more time, and it worked out on 3-2.
Well, Adams did not see a fastball, and Joe Allen just stuck with that slider. All 6 pitches. That one a good one.
Gets Matisse Murant in his 3rd appearance at the plate. Came in back in the 5th inning. Well, these teams, so much history in their programs, as Morant stings one right at Chufo for the 2nd out.
Well, first fastball that Joe Allen throws, and Matisse Morant squares it up. Nice. It's a bullet right at shortstop. Chufo and positioned perfectly. Out number 2.
And that 3-run homer Brendan Summerhill hit back in the 7th will go all for naught, but a guy who has 3 hits in the first 2 Arizona games figures to have a huge year as he takes a called strike. 2 programs with so much history. This is actually the 6th all-time meeting. They have met 3 different times in the College World Series over the years. Each hoping to get back and feel like they've got the goods to do it. Arizona last there in 2021. Clemson last to Omaha in 2010. As the count goes to 2-1.
Well, the Clemson Tigers have showed up and showed out so far in this Shriners College Showdown. They look solid.
They do.
All phases of the game so far.
1 strike away from notching win number 2, and they get a great showdown against Ole Miss tomorrow in the 2nd game of the Sunday tripleheader. Bounces the slider in the dirt. Always seems like there is one team we come out of this weekend. Not that we overreact, but we can't help it, Pat. We're broadcasters.
Right.
That's what we do. Clemson early returns are. They look like that team.
They do, yeah. I mean, they're well put together, and I think we've talked about just how the staff used that transfer portal to fill some key exits from the program last year, and top to bottom, solid lineup. The pitching looks fantastic, and defense has been outstanding as well.
Summerhill does draw the 2-out walk, so it moves the line for at least one more AB. Garen Caulfield, little foul tip. Again, Oklahoma State and Louisville to follow. That game tentatively set to start around 3:10, 3:15 or so Central Time.
Yeah, we were cooking right along those middle innings, and then
we were.
Clemson had to bookend these crooked numbers. First inning.
I mean, 15 runs between the 1st and the 9th inning for Clemson. Caulfield the take, just misses. 2-1. A rocket foul. Caulfield, the surprise returnee, thought his career might be done. Had a long conversation with Chip Hale and pretty much convinced Garen Caulfield. He said, look, you want to go into coaching ultimately. This will be a great avenue for it. It's one to the left side. That's Chufo who makes the play. And this game comes to an end. Clemson dominant from start to finish. Crooked innings in the 1st and 9th. And the Tigers, despite not having their head coach with them in the dugout for these first 2 games due to suspension, are off to a 2-0 start.
Yeah, great showing by the Tigers, and we thought that they may be one of the stronger teams coming into the tournament. They have certainly showed that, winning a couple of games here back-to-back days. And for Arizona, a lot of work to do still, but a lot of season left, and Chip Hale's excited about this team. This is one you just kind of erase from the memory books as quick as you can and get to tomorrow. A lot of offense for Clemson today.
Been a fun trip so far. First visit to a major league stadium. Clemson getting their money's worth, wouldn't you say?
Man, not intimidated one bit. And yeah, still find that hard to believe, but they have done a great job so far. A couple of games here, and big one yet again tomorrow.
We will send it down to our post-game interview. Leanza Peroni standing by with our player of the game, Cam Canarella.
7 runs in the first inning and another 8 in the ninth. Tell me, what was the pregame meal, the hype song, the conversation before this game to get things going like that?
I mean, our pregame meal was we just ate breakfast at the hotel, but I mean, we just locked in together and we talked about it. We have a team meeting every morning, and EB got us right. I mean, he couldn't be here today, but I'm just thankful for him, and whenever he comes back tomorrow, we're going to get another dub for him.
You tied the school record with 3 doubles in the game today. What does it mean to you to get to put on a Clemson uniform and show out for your school? I'm so thankful. I'm a Clemson Tiger. I thank all these coaches and my teammates, and I'm just thankful so much. $73,000 has been raised so far for Shriners Children's. What does it mean to be able to be here playing baseball and doing something bigger and supporting these kids?
I mean, I'm happy we're in Texas and we get to do this event. I mean, we get to meet all the kids. We got Eli this weekend. I mean, he's a great player and a kid. I mean, I love him and I'm thankful for him too.
Great win today. Congratulations.
Thanks so much, Leanza. All smiles for Clemson. Cam Canarella had himself a day after 3 strikeouts in game 1 yesterday. Made up for it and then some today with 4 hits in 6 trips, 3 doubles, 4 runs scored. Wasn't just Canarella, though. Clemson from start to finish absolutely dominant as they win it 16-5. We say so long. It's our first of 3 games today. For Pat Combs, Leanza Peroni, the rest of our outstanding Flow Sports crew, I'm Ben Wilson. A reminder, stay tuned, because in an hour from now, we'll get things underway. Game 2 of 3, Louisville and Oklahoma State to follow us next. For now, though, it's Clemson, the talk of Globe Life Field. Weekend 1 of the Shriners Children's College Showdown. They take it over Arizona by a final score of 16-5. They'll take on Ole Miss tomorrow afternoon, while Arizona takes on Louisville tomorrow morning. We'll see you next in about an hour for Louisville and Oklahoma State right here on Flow College.
Alright, you guys care if I throw the balls at you? I'm trying to see the bad shot. Do you care if I throw something at